Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My courtesy to our development partners, to the BMOAs of the BARMM. Again, good afternoon and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will be presenting the salient features of the draft Bangsamoro Micro, Small and Medium Development Plan 2026 to 2032. This plan was realized in partnership with the United Nations Development Program and the Japan International Cooperation Agency in collaborations with the following BMOAs, the MAFAR, MOST, BYC, the BWC, CSEA, MILG, BPDA, and the Al-Amana Islamic Bank, the PLGUs, MLGUs in BARMM, the BICTO, the Chambers of Commerce in the different provinces, the academe, and cooperatives and MSMEs of BARMM. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, this plan has a vision of a competitive, resilient, and sustainable MSMEs in technologically dynamic and formidable halal ecosystem, contributing to job creation, poverty reduction, and lasting peace in the BARMM, with the goal of create an enabling environment towards an equitable, competitive, and robust economy. The Bangsamoro MS Med Plan 2026-2032 is not just an economic document. It will be the region's primary vehicle for stabilizing the peace process through economic dividends. Next slide, please. This is the situational analysis or the current state of the MSMEs in BARMM and the top industries in BARMM. Next slide, please. This is the present share of MSMEs by size in the BARMM 2023. Comprising micro enterprises comprise 86% of the total MSMEs in BARMM. Micro around 39,433, and for the small we have 1,169. For the medium we have 377. For the large we have 25, and some are undisclosed. Around 4,792 with a total of 45,796. Next slide, please. This plan would be a whole sector approach, emphasizing on governance and institutional strengthening. Its objectives is to highlight the strategic framework that outlines the vision, goal, objectives, and strategies in the next 6 years. Present the programs and projects that will build the capacity, provide the enabling environment, and optimize the opportunities locally and internationally, outlining the policy, capacity building, and other institutional requirements. It is based on the following legal frameworks. Next slide, please. The Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028, the Republic Act Number 6977 or the Magna Carta for Small Enterprises, the One Town, One Product Philippines Act, the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, the Innovative Startup Act, the Philippine Innovation Act, Ease of Doing Business and Effective Government Service Delivery Act of 2018, the Credit Survey Fund Cooperation Act of 2015, the Microfinance NGOs Act, the Go-Negosyo Act, the BMBE or the Barangay Micro Business Enterprises, the Comprehensive National Industrial Strategy, the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion, Philippine Export Development Plan, and the second Bangsamoro Development Plan of 2023-2028. Next slide, please. This is the strategic framework of the plan with a vision of competent, resilient, and sustainable MSMEs in a technologically dynamic and formidable halal ecosystem, contributing to job creation, poverty reduction, and lasting peace in the Bangsamoro. For the dimensions of change, we are looking within the MSME's competencies, the MSME's environment, and the MSME's prospects. The target results And also the institutional requirements, no? We still need the passage of the LEIC in the provincial, city, and MLGU, establishment of FDA in the BARMM region, provinces, and municipalities, formulation of halal development roadmap and establishment of halal standards, systems, and processes, establishment of BPLS, capacity development support on product development, marketing, access to capital and financial services, and digital technology, capacity development support on halal accreditation standards, systems, and processes, conduct of local trade fairs, and facilitating participation in national and international trade fairs, establishment of shared service facilities, cold chain facility, and other support facilities, calamity emergency funds for MSMEs, establishment of negosyo center, and creation and sustained functionality of MSME, the Development Council, the Chamber of Commerce and Federation, and formulation of commodity industry roadmaps. No? For the funding requirements, no? Next slide, please. We have a total of 298.2 million, no, with the following programs, no? The MSME Access Program, the MSME Upscale Program, the MSME Digital Connect Program, and the MSME Resilient Program. Next slide, please. For the plan implementation and other institutional arrangement, no? We will be creating, no, the MSME Regional under the MSME Regional Development Council. No, it will serve as the highest policy-making body in relation to the implementation of the Bangsamoro MSME Development Plan 2026-2032. It provides guidance and oversight in the implementation of the Bangsamoro MSME Development Plan and create the mechanisms required for multi-stakeholder engagement and M&E process, such as the creation of a technical working group on plan monitoring and coordination. For the MTIT region, it will take the lead in the approval and launching of this plan from the region to the provinces. No? Initially, it will take the leadership role in the implementation of this plan while the Bangsamoro MSME Development Council is being installed. Once the MSME Development Council is installed, the MTIT region will transition to serving as the technical secretariat of the Bangsamoro MSME Development Council. It will take the lead in the implementation of the priority programs such as the MSME Access Program. For the MTIT provinces, it will assume a leadership role in the implementation of the plan at the provincial level while a provincial MSME Development Council is being installed. It will transition to technical secretariat once the provincial MSME Development Council is installed. For MAFAR, no, or the other BMOAs, MAFAR would be the overall lead in ensuring the provision of cold chain facilities and other post-harvest facilities, overall lead in the formulation of commodity roadmaps. For the MILG, it will be the lead implementing agency for the implementation of the digital centers, and it will serve as key partner of MTIT in ensuring that LGUs provide funding support to MSMEs at the time of emergencies and calamities. For the CSEA, it will be the lead implementing agency for the provision of capacity building activities for cooperatives and social enterprises. And for MOST, it will be the implementing agency for the development of scientific advantage and the provision of facilities and equipment for shared service facilities. For the BYC, it will ensure the provision of support for women-led enterprises. For the BYC, it will ensure the provision of support for youth-led enterprises. And for the LGUs, the provision of support and services in relation to business name registrations of MSMEs, the availability and functionality of permitting and licensing system for MSMEs. It will ensure that MSMEs have access to the services of negosyo centers, and also the provision of calamity recovery fund for MSMEs at the time of emergencies and calamities. Next slide, please. The Bangsamoro Development Plan 2026-2032 matters now specifically because BARMM is in a critical prove-it phase. With the transition period maturing and the 2025-2030 halal roadmap presently launched, the region is pivoting from political establishment to economic sustainability. That would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hossein Birwar, for that insightful keynote presentation on building a competitive BARMM business environment for MSMEs. Your discussion on strengthening access to production, markets, and financial opportunities is truly valuable to our shared goal of inclusive and sustainable growth. Thank you for your time and your expertise, sir. We will now proceed to the panel discussion with the topic BARMM Economic Prospects and MSME Competitiveness. To moderate this discussion, allow me to introduce our esteemed moderator. Mr. Cesar Cuyugan is a graduate in Public Administration, Law, and Agriculture Agronomy. He has been a freelance consultant since 1995, specializing in the business development, training, project management, research, procedural reform, and enterprise mentoring. He has worked with organizations such as the Development Academy of the Philippines, the Asia Foundation, and Freedom Incorporated, and is actively involved in banana, coffee, cacao, palm oil, and mango industry development councils to coordinate and harmonize stakeholder interests. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, our moderator, Mr. Cesar Cuyugan. This time, allow me to call in our panel members for this session. Please help me welcome the Senior Trade and Industry Specialist of the Ministry of Trade, Investments, and Tourism of BARMM, Ms. Amina Caron Mendez. Let's give her a big round of applause. Joining our panel is a registered midwife and licensed professional teacher with a master's degree in public administration from MSU Maguindanao and ongoing doctoral studies at Mindanao State University main campus. She currently serves as a Chief Science and Research Specialist at the Ministry of Science and Technology, where she has been part of the MOST BARMM since 2019. A certified halal lead auditor and member of the Technical Advisory Group on Halal and the Food Safety Team, she contributes to advancing halal science and food safety in the region. With nearly a decade of humanitarian experience supporting women and children in conflict-affected areas, she continues to advocate for women's empowerment, health, and community development in the Bangsamoro. She is the Chief Science Research Specialist, Technical Management Operations Services of the Ministry of Science and Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Monawara M. Abuldabi. The next member of the panel has more than 15 years of experience in credit evaluation, loan portfolio management, and program marketing. She has been instrumental in supporting MSMEs through innovative and inclusive financing programs across Mindanao. She oversees loan program implementation, ensures credit policy compliance, and provides strategic guidance to regional teams. Ms. Caroline also actively represents SB Corps in stakeholder engagements, mediations, and interagency collaborations. She is currently pursuing her master's degree in enterprise management and holds a bachelor degree in management accounting from Notre Dame of Dadiangas College, OIC. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the OIC, the Department Manager of the Mindanao Group, Corporate Executive Officer 3 of Small Business Corporation, Ms. Caroline Macabenta. Let's give her a big round of applause, please. Adding to the panel is a registered agriculturist with over a decade of experience in agriculture, agribusiness, development, and fisheries management in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. She currently serves as Senior Agriculturist under the Agribusiness Industry Support Section of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform, or MAFAR, where she also acts as focal person for MAFAR Lens. Her professional background includes roles as agriculturist 2 in agribusiness promotion, agricultural technologist with the Department of Agriculture, and municipal fishery coordinator with BFAR ARMM. A graduate of Mindanao State University, Maguindanao with a degree in agricultural education, she brings strong expertise in agribusiness management, program implementation, and local agricultural development. The senior agriculturist and focal person of Mafar Lens, please help me welcome Ms. Lamia G. Aliman. Another important addition to our panel is the branch head of Amana Islamic Bank, Cotabato branch, a position she has held since April 2023. She has been in continuous service with the bank since 2010, reflecting her dedication and long-standing professional commitment. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Business Administration major in management from Mindanao State University, Marawi City, and completed her Master of Business Administration at Notre Dame University, Cotabato City. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Bai City Hejara B. Kusain. A round of applause, please. We would also like to turning this over to our moderator, Sir Cesar.
Okay, good afternoon. So I have 5 pretty ladies here with me. For the BARMM agri-fishery sector to be a major contributor to the economy, it must be supported by good infrastructure to enable it to function efficiently and competitively. Physical, institutional, and service facilities should support the whole value chain, from production to processing to marketing, and of course, financing. So these are facilities that support growing crops, catching fish, and all, even the post-harvest and processing. So facilities that enable efficiency, compliance, and other essential services. Now, maybe one of the things we can talk about is the access, increasing the access of the MSMEs to these services. For Mafar, MTIT, and Alamana, there's partnership, right? For, I think Mafar and MTIT have financing programs that is being partnered with Alamana. So, in the past few years that we have been doing these programs, what are the effective strategies or things that you have been doing that you think will be instrumental in allowing the MSMEs to have better access to the services?
Hello. So I'll take first.
Yeah, start it off.
Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. For MTIT, we started our partnership with Amana around 2023, right? So we've had at least run it for 1 year already. Last 2024, 2 years already, no? 2024 and 2025. There were some challenges, of course, along the process. This is one of the, I think, the most difficult part in accessing the financing program, especially the business plan preparation. For MTIT, what we do is we support our cooperatives or MSMEs that has the difficulty in developing their plan. And also, there are some partners as well, like Japan International Cooperation Agency, who also supported us in really simplifying the templates for the business plan so that our MSMEs and cooperatives will be able to really access this support. There are some also with Amana, they also support technically our cooperatives so that it would be easier for them. For my part, because I am under the Industry Development and Investment Promotion Program, it's not just about financing, but also other support like the shared service facilities to really improve the competitiveness of cooperatives and MSMEs. This is one of the gaps that we try to address along the value chain, like providing shared service facilities to, one example is for the coffee industry. We try to, provide equipment for their coffee so that from post-harvest to processing, they will be able to transform their products into more valuable products like GCB or the green coffee beans and even the roasted coffees. But of course, along the way, finance is still a problem. The buying, the working capital for that. And so, with the shared service facility in place and the financing program, MTIT now could provide the technical assistance to these cooperatives in a way that they would be, more competitive, if you bring them with other neighboring regions.
Yes, sir. For the challenges for Amana Islamic Bank is there's still a lot of businesses na di pa nag-a-avail ng financing sa amin. Since I think merong other lending centers na the businesses chose those lending centers instead of Amana Islamic Bank. Maybe because of the requirements. But I think the requirements that we set are agreed upon with MTIT, and it's not that strictly, it's not that strict. But this time, MTIT and Amana Islamic Bank are amending the requirements, the guidelines, so that mas marami po yung mga businesses na maka-avail po sa amin. And on the works na rin po so far. And yun po, hopefully this year, more businesses will avail, more MSMEs will avail our financing products and services in partnership with MTIT and of course MAFAR.
Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So sa part ni MAFAR po, we have the program what we call the MAFAR Lens, or for the loan for the enhancement of necessary development strategies. Under this program, those cooperatives and associations, groups, they are the beneficiaries or the target beneficiaries for this program. So this program, the MAFAR Lens, is specifically, we have this year, last year, we have started the partnership with Al-Amana Islamic Bank. So that loan program is 3 years to pay, and that is zero interest and free of collateral. So those interested MSME cooperatives, associations, dapat isipin nila kung ano yung purpose nila, because this MAFAR Lens is designed to grow business development of the Bangsamoro Agri-Fisheries Cooperative and Association to promote or to sustain their livelihood in terms of agri-fisheries business. Thank you po.
So, aside from the financing, how do you support the MSMEs, especially when they have already availed of the financing? You know, pwedeng we just focus on the financing, and after that, bahala kayo.
Yes po. Sa MAFAR Lens program, this is, first of all, we offer the capacity development, organizational management training, and financial management training. So binibigay natin to sa ating mga farmers and fisherfolk for those who availed the program. So I think, sir, isa rin po tayo. Last year, we have partnership and collaborated the financial management training and also the business planning last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, yun po yung support na binibigay natin. So, after they have availed or they have received their loan, so binibigyan po natin sila ng capacity development, kina-capacitate, paano nila masustain yung pera na hiniram nila. Kasi this MAFR loans is utang po, loan. So, hindi ibig sabihin ito ay dole out. So, dapat makapacitate talaga sila para mo-sustain yung kanilang livelihood or yung kanilang business. So, yun po yung isa sa mga steps or mga strategies na ginagawa ni MAFR is binibigyan po natin sila ng mga organizational management training, financial training, and other related training so that they can sustain their business in terms of agri-fishery business.
So that you would know who are those delinquents.
Monitoring your business disbursements or income, ganun po.
Okay, so na-mention kasi ni Ma'am Amina that there's also with some financing by SBC. And I guess SBC has already financed several, no? I think as referred by MTIT, and of course, BAEP CRESCENT also has also referred several clients to you. So, in your experience with these proponents, what's happening?
Okay, yes, sir. So, for everyone's info, so I'm from Small Business Corporation. So, SB Corp is a government-owned control corporation, so a government financing institution. So kami po yung financing arm ng Department of Trade and Industry. So our mandate is to expand access to affordable financing para doon talaga sa mga micro, small, and medium enterprises, particularly those po yung mga underserved by the formal banking system. So, as we all know, in regions like BARMM, very critical yung access to finance to building competitive and resilient enterprises. So, our engagement with the Bangsamoro Agri-Enterprise program, I think through the BAEP CRESCENT has been started or active since early 2024. So we participated, sir, in your program launch, the investment forums, the provincial level sustainable investment and financing forum across BARMM. So these activities, sir, was able to help SB Corp to directly actually engage with LGUs, cooperatives, and MSMEs operating in priority like the value chain, yung mga agribusiness, then food processing and halal industry. So through the BAEP, SB Corp were able to reach to those MSMEs that were already organized, then trained, capacitated, and already linked to market. So this is very important for us financing institutions because parang pinadali yung buhay namin actually as an account officer because it helped the enterprise to be ready. Then it also reduces the risk, no, as a creditor. So the BAEP project has been effectively served as our bridge between the capacity building and access to finance. With our experience, actually, hindi kami magkaka-account ng tawi-tawi kung hindi dahil sa BAEP, sir, no? So thank you for that. Since SB Corp, we need to have an exposure to all the provinces. So island provinces, so I'm so proud na we have clients as far as Tawi-Tawi and Basilan, kahit wala kaming tao doon. So because of our program na easily accessible to all, wherein we have from traditional lending, wherein you submit your documents to the account officer, you prepare your papers, but in SB Corp, you will only apply via online. So, mas pinadali siya, sir. So, moving forward, maybe SB Corp, through this BAEP, could be further be supported naman, strengthening our partnership like BAEP, MTIT, and other line agencies of the BARMM. Of course, sa inyo, ma'am, sa Alamana. Kasi ang target naman namin is, di ba, from those underserved, ma-refer namin sila into formal banking system din po. So, yun po. So, SBC can continue to contribute or continue to assist the MSMEs in BARMM as well as contribute to inclusive and economic support group na rin po, sir. So, that's all.
Okay, so medyo maganda yung because MAFAR is really focusing on the yung mga cooperatives, the farmers, no? Fisher folks, and then MTIT is focusing on the MSMEs and cooperatives also. And then pag-graduate sa inyo, nandyan si SB Corp that can give them maybe a bigger amount.
Yes, sir. Yes po. So we only cater not only for micro, small, and medium enterprises. So we also cater to cooperatives, particularly those cooperatives who are into lending. So we have this wholesale program also, sir. And also, with our continuous partnership with the BAEP, we have been innovating our loan programs to support micro, small, and medium enterprises, particularly in BARMM with our new program, sir.
Okay. So aside from the financing, as mentioned earlier, one of the challenge of the MSMEs is getting into markets because of the certifications required, FDA, halal, no? So I'm really curious on what's happening on this front. Maybe our Mamona can...
Yan, so thank you, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Yes, of course, lahat po nung pinag-uusapan, production from MAFAR, and then marketing for MTIT, and of course the financing, hindi po mawawala si processing side niya. And doon po pumapasok ang role ni Ministry of Science and Technology. As to certification po, as we all know, ang ating Philippine standard po ay meron po tayong minimum requirements to our products. One of that po ay makakuha po tayo ng license to operate sa FDA, which is yan po yung pangunahing role ni MOST to support our micro, small, and medium enterprises. Currently, sir, we have a program, consultancy services, which is nag-cater po tayo dun sa mga micro, small, and medium enterprises natin. And alhamdulillah, currently, umuusad po siya. And one of the MSMEs na sinusuportahan for marketing ni MTIT ay dumaan po sa proseso na ginawa natin. Hindi po siya madali. But of course, with the effort po ng line agencies na nandyan po from preparation, katulad ng ginagawa ni MAFAR, the product dev actually is a very long process. But of course, lahat ng interagency, lahat ng ministries na involved ay ginagawa nilang kanilang part and nakakarating po tayo doon. As to certification po, of course, tayo ay nasa Bangsamoro region, kaakibat noon ng halal certification, of course. Part of the halal certification dun sa Tayyiban part of halal certification, ginagawa po ni MOST dahil meron po tayong laboratory, meron din po tayong partner laboratories kung hindi man po kayang i-cater ni MOST laboratory natin. May mga partner laboratories po tayo dahil si laboratory po natin sa MOST ay part po siya ng one lab ng DOST nationwide. So ibig sabihin po, pag mga parameters, medyo technical part po siya. Depende po kasi sa products natin kung ano yung ina-apply natin sa FDA. May mga product po kasi tayo na maraming parameters. For example na lang po, may products po tayo on peanut. So lahat po ng product natin sa peanut, mag-undergo po siya ng parameters na marami. So may mga parameters po na hindi po kayang i-cater ng laboratories natin, but meron po tayong tinatawag na one lab. Ibig sabihin, pwede ho natin ma-refer sa laboratories po ni DOST dahil partner po tayo ng one lab ng DOST. And alhamdulillah, currently po ay may mga partners naman po tayo na certifying body for halal certification. And, but of course, hindi pa po siya certify ng halal board natin sa BARMM, but for ang partner po natin ay accredited by NCMF. So ito po ay partner nila si laboratories natin pagdating po doon sa mga certification na ginagawa sa community natin. And alhamdulillah, for this year, from 2020 to this year po ay marami na ho naman pong na-certified na mga products po natin. And happy din po kami dahil one of the products na nadi-display ay kasama po doon sa na-process natin. And meron po din tayong 7 na po na upcoming na meron na pong license to operate. In partner po sa Region 9, Region 12, and Region 11 na mga FDA, alhamdulillah. So kinikater naman po nila tayo. Meron lang pong challenge of course dahil sana nandito na sa atin si FDA. And hopefully, yun naman po yung ginagawa ng ating mga kasama sa BARMM government. Inshallah, tuloy-tuloy lang po, but pagdating po sa certification, nandito po si Minister of Science and Technology para umalalay po sa mga micro and medium enterprises po natin. Dahil mahaba po kasi yung process na yun, from layout, good manufacturing practices, the food safety training, the halal awareness, lahat po yun ay pagdaraanan po ng ating mga micro, small, and medium enterprises, inshallah. Thank you po.
Okay. So, ako personally, I have been involved with some of your programs, no? But maybe going forward, what do your agencies need from BAEP or from EU that will maybe make our interventions more effective and more accessible to the MSMEs? Ano pang pwedeng gawin ng EU, BAEP, or CRESCENT?
Oh, sky's the limit. What more? Actually, there's still a lot to do, especially if you want to address the value chain development for agri and fishery. Because first of all, as mentioned by our colleague from MOST, number one is really the facility. Because competitiveness really is not complete with our within just the efforts of the cooperatives or the MSMEs if we don't have accredited or certified facilities for processing. because most of our farmers are really just producing raw materials. Raw materials for Region 9, for Region 10, or Region 11. So what we need is, to support really on establishing a processing facility that would really help our MSMEs. It could be a pilot plant that could really produce, certified products. At least this pilot plant, I believe we have some initiatives already with the BPDA, MAFAR, and other ministries, MOST. We did BAFDEC before that aims to establish a pilot plan for our MSMEs where this is a FDA licensed facility wherein MSMEs just can go there and then process their plant. Because one example of this is the Food Industry Development Center by the DA in Taguig. This is one model that could be established in the region where MSMEs just can go there, pay for a fee, and then process their food products there. And then after that, when it goes out, it's already certified products that they can sell to the market. So that's what we are missing right now. If we just put that to each cooperative, everyone, every cooperative has these facilities, and it's like a mushroom that's growing everywhere. But we have to also check on the capacities of these cooperatives to really manage that, because that's another challenge that we need to address. So, if the EU could still support, maybe another version of BAEP, maybe we should look into more clustered areas that, can establish that one. And then with the limitation of FDA being available in the region, maybe that pilot plan could help, our MSMEs to really be competitive and be able to bring their markets outside of the region. We've been trying to address this, but of course there are some limitations on our end. We just can provide some small equipment, but that's just it. So apart from those kind of facility, maybe we have to empower also our Cooperative and Social Enterprise Authority, or the CSEA, to really look into empowering our cooperatives. I believe they don't have that much of support in terms of cooperative management or even the financial management of cooperatives. That could be regularly done as a mandatory training for all cooperatives, to really thrive on managing, because cooperative is a business entity. So we have to really, empower our cooperatives, and maybe we can support our CSEA for that. And of course, apart from the capacity development, it's really, maybe those that's being already supported by BAEP through this program of the different implementing partners. We need to ensure the graduation of some of these MSMEs, because, after the project, you are ending this year. Some of you are ending this year. Then what's next? We have to, on our end, we try to complement that with our programs. That's why I've been talking to UNIDO, to IOM, to other implementing partners, so that our program could also complement what can be the next step for them. Because eventually, all of this will be leaving our cooperatives in the island provinces. So, but we still need to support that. Maybe the mature one could, what kind of level of intervention could be provided. So maybe those things maybe could be considered by EU, and since Mirto is here, maybe she can, she can take note of that. So those are some of the things, that we really are serious in supporting our MSMEs.
Okay, so parang inubos na ni Ma'am Amina yung lahat nung sinabi na, kumbaga yung collaborative with BAEP CRESCENT, no? So, in sa MAFAR part naman is same as the facilities, the post-harvest facilities, the also the how to capacitate, intensified capacity development na may ibibigay natin sa ating farmers, fisher folk cooperative and association, kasi karamihan talaga sa ating mga cooperatives, groups, farmers and fisher folk, so hindi pa talaga sila totally ready for this intervention, or what we call this, the digital marketing. So by that digital marketing siguro dapat Doon po yung focus, isa sa focus natin sa ating mga farmers and fisherfolk so that maging competitive sila. So from that, post-harvest facilities, capacity development, so inshallah, madedevelop at matutulungan para masustain yung kanilang business and livelihood.
For Amana Islamic Bank, I think the BAEP CRESCENT could assist the businesses, the business, and the cooperatives to complete their documents. See, these documents is not just a piece of paper. It shows how the businessman discipline in completing the requirements of the bank. So I guess that's what I think your agency could, the BAEP CRESCENT could help assist the applicants in availing the financing facilities of the bank.
For SBC?
Actually, for SBC, maybe moving forward, SB Corp, as mentioned earlier, could be further be supported like strengthening with our partnerships like BAEP. In short, sir, sama-sama mo kami parati, sir, ha, kung saan kayo. Punta kayo Tawi-Tawi, sir, isama nyo kami. So, mga ganyan. So, and also, continuing enterprise, mga intervention with the enterprise, no? Kasi that is very important for us financing. Kasi hindi lang, as mentioned yung sa Almana Bank, is hindi lang paper yung titingnan namin. We also make sure that the funds we relend is mababalik so we could extend or re-loan it to other viable MSMEs. And also, another support is promoting value chain-based financing program to make it very inclusive, particularly in BARMM areas po, sir. Ayun po.
Actually, sir, as I mentioned earlier, one of the requirements for application sa FDA, ang kanilang processing area. So I think sa BAEP, pag meron ho tayong tinulungan, of course, siguro isama ho natin ang processing area. The layout, kasi one of the requirements ni FDA, pag tinitingnan po nila ang ating mga micro and small medium enterprises, ang kanilang processing area, which is, yun po yung mga reason bakit yung mga aplikante ho natin na hindi pa po umaabot doon sa level na makakuha na sila ng certification because documentation, of course, and then number one ho talaga si processing area. Not necessary malaki, as long as yung flow po nung kanilang plantation, for example, ay masunod kung ano ho yung compliance with the FDA. And yun po yung isa sa mga nakakaligtaan ng mga partners natin ay hanggang capacity building, nakakalimutan po natin yung processing area ng ating mga cooperative, ng ating mga small medium enterprises, including dun sa mga partner ni MAFAR, and other agency. And for MOST, one of the tinitingnan po din natin kung, for example, sa mga stakeholder, mga beneficiary ni MAFAR na gustong mag-avail naman dahil from production, kinakatch namin yon para doon sa certification nila. Kung hindi pa po sila ready doon sa kanilang processing area, medyo hindi siya priority kasi hindi din po siya makakaabot kay FDA. So yun po yung medyo hiling namin sa BAEP, for example, and other humanitarian development, isama po natin ang processing area doon sa mga projects natin para tuloy-tuloy yung kanilang application na makakuha po sila ng license to operate. As to technical part, nandito naman po ang mga agency, nandito si MOSC to help. Pero doon sa infra, wala po yun sa mandato ni MOSC, which is kasama po doon sa holistic approach natin doon sa ating mga micro and small enterprises. Yun po, sir. Thank you.
So it's so nice to see that the different agencies are really working together at the different stages of the business so that it becomes more sustainable and they're given better access to the services that they need. No? So moving forward, I feel that we need 10 more years with all the things that need to be done, right? It's still a long way to go, but I'm so hopeful that with everyone working together, sharing our experiences, something will happen. And hopefully, inshallah, we will be able to bring these MSMEs to have products that will be exported to other regions and even to other countries later on. So we would like to thank our panelists for the wonderful sharing this afternoon. And we hope to continue working with you in bringing development to the BARMM. So thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for that significant discussion, our speakers and panelists, of course, to our moderator as well. This time, we would like to present our certificate of appreciation to our panelists and moderator, Mr. Jerry Constantino. Kindly do the honor of presenting the certificates. We will then follow this with a photo opportunity. Once again, a round of applause, please, to our panelists and our moderator, Mr. Cesar Cuyugan. Thank you so much to Jerry for presenting the certificates. Up next, we delve into strategies for strengthening the backbone of BARMM's agribusiness sector, our cooperatives and enterprises. Joining us to share insights on creating competitive and sustainable agricultural businesses across the region is a distinguished leader in agribusiness development. Allow me to introduce our keynote speaker properly. Mr. Datu Hamsur Zaid is the Chief Agriculturist of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Agrarian Reform, or MAFAR, where he oversees agribusiness development, market linkages, and support services for farmers and enterprises. He currently serves as the Project Director of the BAEP program as well. He was also designated as the IREP Component Head of the Philippine Rural Development Project, contributing to enterprise-driven investments and rural economic growth through coordinated support to farmers, organizations, and agri-based MSMEs. Please welcome our keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Datu Hamsur Zaid, again, the Chief of the Agribusiness and Marketing Assistance Services Division of MAFAR BARMM, as he presents on creating competitive cooperatives and enterprises in the BARMM agribusiness value chain.
Hello. 𝐷𝐸𝐴uzu Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable representatives of the European Union, distinguished guests, colleagues from national government agencies, fellow officials of the Bangsamoro government, colleagues in AMAD, leaders from the private sector, cooperatives, MSMEs, development partners, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to each and everyone. For today's session, our topic is about empowering cooperatives and entrepreneurs' business competitiveness. Next slide. Okay? Next slide. To to see the context, let us first look at the overall condition of the agriculture and fisheries sector. Based on the National Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization and Industrialization Plan 2021-2030, rice, corn, and coconut account for about 74% of arable land, yet profitability remains low due to small farm sizes and limited productivity. Fisherfolk and coconut farmers remain among the poorest sectors despite the country and the Bangsamoro region being rich in water resources. These national challenges are also strongly felt in the Bangsamoro, often more severely due to access and geographic constraints. Next slide. Within this broader context, the situation becomes clearer when we look at the poverty levels. In 2023, based on the PSA data, poverty incidence in the Bangsamoro region reached 34.7% among farmers and 43.9% among fisherfolk, translating to around 195,000 poor farmers and 69,700 poor fisherfolk. This is significantly higher than the national poverty incidence, which stands at 27% for farmers and 27.4% for fisherfolk. Next slide. On the other hand, on the side of the smallholder farmers and fisherfolk, the food sector faces persistent challenges: a mismatch between supply and market requirements, weak production and aggregation, lack of economies of scale at the production level, trader-dominated markets, and high logistic costs. While these are national issues, they are more evident in the Bangsamoro region, where infrastructure and market access to market remains limited. Next slide. Given these challenges, it is also important to understand the enterprise landscape in the Philippines. This is data in 2019. In the Philippines, medium and large enterprises comprise 1% but contribute 74% of value-added products, while micro-enterprises comprise 89% but contribute only 6%. In the MAFAR database, because we have our TWG and cooperatives, over 2,500 cooperatives and associations have requested support for technical assistance and other supports. Also, accomplishment report shows 2024-25 that approximately 389 FFCAs have been served through various farm inputs, fishery supports, and also 289 FFCAs under Nabafar Lens project. Next slide. In response to these realities, allow me to share the strategic approaches and initiatives of the ministry. Next slide. Consistent with these strategies, MAFAR adopts the value chain analysis approach to identify bottlenecks, issues and concerns within the segments of the value chain, to improve the efficiency and guide farmers toward more profitable products with respect to the priority commodities in the region. Through BAEP, partners such as ECCP, Oxfam, IOM, UNIDO, and People in Need conducted value chain analysis at the start of the implementation, ensuring that interventions are market-driven and evidence-based. So 2 points yung tinitingnan natin dito. Sa side of the government or side of enablers, on empowering cooperatives and associations, we will look at the issues in the value chain and we may include them in our regular programs and projects. On the side naman ng cooperatives and association, look for the segments in which they can earn higher income and profits. So kailangan natin matingnan yun. Next slide. From value chain analysis, we move to concrete market-oriented interventions. Through MAFAR Lengke, MAFAR Ramadan, Agri-Fishery Fairs, Kadiwan ng Pangulo, and direct market linkages, we connect farmers and fisherfolk directly to consumers and institutional buyers, reducing the role of middlemen and improving price transparency. At the same time, the smallholder horticulture and empowerment promotion approach promotes farming as a business, enabling farmers to plan production based on market demand. This approach shifts from a grow and sell mindset to grow to sell mindset. Cooperatives and associations that are beneficiaries of this can now independently conduct market surveys, resulting in an increased net income from 5,251 to 8,134, a 55% growth. This progress is evidenced by the Ipanasangan Farmers Marketing Cooperatives in Barira, Maguindanao del Norte. Next slide. Some notable accomplishments in the advent of these initiatives. Mr. Abdul Qadir Adam, the president of Cauyagan Farmers Cooperative in Macabizo, Sultan Mastura, Maguindanao del Norte, is now a regular supplier of vegetables to Robinson Supermarket in the Mall of Alnor, Cotabato City. Hopefully, we can link them to KCC in the near future. Next slide. Another concrete example of this approach is seen in our institutional market linkages. The ministry, in partnership with MTIT, has successfully facilitated the delivery of 10 tons of Caraba banana to International Food Manufacturing Corporation in Davao City. And the beneficiaries are Mr. Gyasali Salim of Sultan Sabarungis and Mr. Tirso Sarin of South Upi, Maguindanao del Sur. Next slide. To sustain these gains, we have to follow a structured enterprise development process. This slide shows how cooperatives are developed, starting from organization and capacity building. And we've been hearing earlier the CISEA on our discussion. Moving to product identification, registration and accreditation, and eventually market expansion. Each stage builds on the previous one, ensuring that cooperatives and associations are not rushed into markets without the necessary systems, skills, and compliance requirements in place. Access to capital is addressed through MAFAR Lens and the PESO program of the MTIT, while multiple agencies and partners provide technical, regulatory, and market support at every stage. Together, this staged approach reduces risk, improves enterprise readiness, and helps cooperatives and associations grow into reliable and competitive market players. Collaboration and also collaboration. Okay, next slide. Supporting this process is a strong focus on organizational development of cooperatives. We've been hearing that earlier regarding organizational development. In this slide shows how we assess cooperatives and translate the result into targeted capacity development interventions. On the left side, we identify the priority areas needed to strengthen cooperatives such as strategic and business planning, disaster risk reduction and business continuity planning, enterprise monitoring, and skills training. On the right side, our organizational assessment highlights gaps in the vision and goals, leadership, membership, project and financial management, service delivery, and sustainability. These findings guide organization development interventions which are institutionalized through Enterprise Operations Manual to ensure sustainability and long-term impact. Next slide. These success stories demonstrate the results of our organization development approach, where targeted assessment and capacity building interventions translate into real and measurable outcomes. Ms. Badria Piang, the chairperson of Barangay Adsal SWC Agribusiness Marketing Cooperative in Macadayon, Talitay, Maguindanao del Norte, shares how the cooperative grows stronger with the help of the various ministries, donors, and agencies. On the right side, Anisa Socor, the chairperson of Haro Farm Agriculture Cooperative in Barangay Cajera, Marugong, Llano del Sur, shared how the cooperative grew from manually producing virgin coconut oil to a fully equipped operation with the help of the assistance from the government and other partners. Next slide. Underlying all these efforts is the importance of coordination and integration among stakeholders. Effective agribusiness development requires strong coordination and integration among government agencies, LGUs, cooperatives, the private sectors, financial institutions, and development partners. By strengthening coordination, we ensure policy alignment, avoid duplication, and maximize the impact of limited resources while linking production with markets, finance, technology, and logistics. One concrete example is the success of the coffee farmers from Amay Manabilang, Lanao del Sur, also a beneficiary of BAEP, whose products gained national recognition at the Philippine Coffee Expo 2025, also supported by the 𝐈𝐕𝐄 CRESCENT, the PRDP, and the MTIT. Overall, coordinated action allow us to build a cohesive and responsive agribusiness ecosystem that supports sustainable growth in BARMM. Next slide. Bringing these elements together, this framework shows how we empower MSMEs by strengthening market access. We start on the left side, the farmers, fisherfolk, ARBs, and MSMEs as the foundation of the value chain, supported through various programs of the government and other agencies. At the center is the enterprise development, palagi na lang yung capacity building, training on business planning, packaging, and labeling, to improve the products and ensure proper packaging and labeling to make producers market ready. Through Mafarlenke's SHEP and trade fairs, we connect them directly to buyers and markets, ensuring inclusive and sustainable market access, especially for small producers. And for the last slide, before I conclude, I would like to highlight the two quotes on this slide. As Tony Robbins reminds us to identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions. This reflects our direction, acknowledging challenges, while focusing on practical and forward-looking solutions. At the same time, as Thurgood Marshall said, that the measure of the country's greatness is its ability to retain compassion in times of crisis. For the Bangsamoro region, this means keeping our farmers, fisherfolk, MSMEs at the center of development. By pursuing solutions-driven actions anchored in compassion, coordination, and commitment, we can build resilient, inclusive, and competitive agri-fishery enterprises in the Bangsamoro region. With that, maraming salamat. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Datu 𝐷𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻, for your presentation on creating competitive cooperatives and enterprises in the BARMM agribusiness value chain. We will now proceed to the panel discussion, again to be moderated by Mr. Cesar Cuyugan. This time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to call our panel members. The first member of the panel is an Asian Studies graduate from Ateneo de Davao with additional studies in philosophy and psychology. He is currently pursuing public policy analysis and social entrepreneurship at the London School of Economics. He is the co-founder and CEO of AB Business Consultancy and CAPEX or CAPEX Exchange, a coffee farmer, advocate, and an entrepreneur. He authored the feasibility study of BARMM's coconut industry and serves as Senior Project Officer for the EU BAEP CRESCENT project implemented by ECCP, funded by the EU. He is also a proud grandson of a coconut farmer and son of a cocoa-fed scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Jake Almanzor. This time, allow me to welcome the proprietor of YJM Farms and the chairperson of the Maguindanao Coffee Council and One Maguindanao Cocoa Council. 45 years in service with YJM Plant Nursery and established YJM Farms. She also finished her PhD in Rural Development. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jalika Mangakop. Joining the panel on stage is a licensed agricultural engineer with over 30 years of experience in coconut industry development, farm management, and agri-based enterprise building. A former regional manager 3 of the Philippine Coconut Authority in Caraga, he led major coconut programs in partnership with LGUs, farmer groups, and industry stakeholders. He has been instrumental in developing coconut plantations, value-added coconut products, and smallholder enterprises through key national and foreign assisted projects. Known for his technical innovations in coconut processing machinery and bioengineering applications, he now continues to advocate sustainable and integrating farming as CEO of Amparitas Integrated Farm, actively supporting farmer empowerment and rural development. Ladies and gentlemen, Engineer Ramon Barbosa. This time, ladies and gentlemen, we are also joined by the Project Development Officer of Philippine Coconut Authority of BARMM, Mr. Lester De La Serna. Joining the discussion is also the CEO and co-founder of Algatrop, Mr. Brandon Hargraves. Joining this discussion is also Manabilang Services Incorporated Proprietor, 𝐂𝐝𝐈𝐕𝐄, and the HR Supervisor of Manabilang Services Incorporated. She's also a member of the Ranao Baning Farmers Agriculture Cooperative, representative for women of the BARMM Coffee Council. She is a graduate of BS Psychology of Liceo de Cagayan University and is part of the BARMM Coffee Council. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for Ms. Saada Maniri. Allow me to introduce the next member of the panel. He is a development and peace-building professional with over 10 years of experience in leadership roles across government, international NGOs, and the United Nations. He currently serves as National Transition and Recovery Officer with the International Organization for Migration, leading the BAEP Fair Value Project in Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. His work spans peace and development, transition and recovery, livelihoods, protection, education, and institutional capacity building in conflict-affected areas of Mindanao, with senior roles in government, international NGOs, and UN programs, demonstrating strong expertise in strategic program leadership and stakeholder engagement. He is the National Transition and Recovery Officer of the International Organization for Migration. Please help me welcome Mr. Jonel Hedoria. Our next member of the panel is the Vice General Manager of Head Sports Philippines, where he oversees operations at the world's largest tennis ball manufacturing facility. With a multidisciplinary background in law, biochemistry, logistics, construction, and public administration, Vasil brings a strategic and technical edge to industrial leadership. He holds a certification in Agile Project Management, Construction Project Management, CPIM, and SMETA compliance. Over the past 15 years, Vasil has led cross-border projects in 9 countries, including ski and ski boot production in Ukraine. His work reflects a commitment to sustainable manufacturing, energy transition, and international cooperation. He collaborates with global partners, USAID, EBRD, EIB, and GIZ to advance innovation and resilience in industrial operations. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vasil Goshovsky. This time, I would like to turn this over to our moderator, Mr. Cesar Cuyugan.
Thank you. Again, good afternoon to everyone. Our topic is about creating competitive cooperatives and enterprises in the agribusiness value chain in the BARMM. Strong and efficient agri-fisheries value chains contribute to building sustainable, inclusive, and competitive industries that can catch more business opportunities in the market. Investors prefer working with organized value chains and with reliable supply, quality standards, and clear governance, as it supports sustainable business relationships and are built on integrity. Strengthening the value chains in BARMM is critical because it turns the region's natural strengths into stable incomes, food security, and sustained livelihoods and lasting peace. Now, For the first question, I would like to direct to the BAEP partners, CRESCENT and IOM. What can you share what your programs have been doing towards creating competitive cooperatives and enterprises in the agribusiness value chain?
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to share, because International Organization for Migration or UN Migration, madaming question, why are you in the agriculture and fishery? So the International Organization for Migration strategic vision actually emphasizes on saving lives, driving solutions to displacement, and facilitating safe, regular, and orderly migration. So this is with strong focus on resilience, sustainable development, climate action, peace building, and partnership. So these are factors that affects migration of the people in the community. So the Fair Value Project intervention, which is actually a joint project between FAO, IOM, and the International Trade Center. Of course, under the Bangsamoro Agri-Enterprise program with support from the European Union, contributes to this vision by addressing economic fragility and climate vulnerability of the people, which actually are the key drivers of displacement, specifically in the BARMM region. Through sustainable, market-integrated livelihoods in conflict-affected and climate-exposed communities such as Basilan. So, specifically in Basilan, we are working with farmers, rubber farmers, which actually is very lucky to have been engaged with Headsport Philippines Incorporated. Of course, through facilitation of the BAEP CRESCENT by ECCP, parang nagkataon lang na nakasalubong yung isang cluster member namin, yung tawag nito, yung Headsport Philippines when they visited Basilan because they are very interested in getting rubber from Basilan. So they've mentioned that we have clusters that have been supported through capacity building from production to market linkage to investment, including kung pwede nga lang may food safety sa rubber, pero hindi naman food yung rubber. So we do that under the Fair Value Project. So through this engagement, our farmers are very lucky and very thankful that our smallholder farmers are now engaged with a global market. So can you imagine if a smallholder cluster, a simple farmer, can they directly engage to a global market such as Headsport Philippines? Of course, they don't have the capacity, volume requirement, they cannot do that. So that's why the strategy is to cluster the smallholder farmers, associations, and cooperatives for us to be able to comply with the volume requirement of the global market at the same time with the standards that is required by the market. Thank you, sir.
Jake?
Hello. When it comes to the CRESCENT project of the EU BAEP, we're promoting creating responsible, sustainable, and competitive enterprises in the Bangsamoro. So our coverage is kind of within the mainland and the island provinces of BARMM, and we're covering commodities or industries that have been there almost to the cusp of entering the global market. So the low-lying fruits or the low-hanging fruits that can be developed. So sinusuportahan po namin yung mga commodities, particular na po yung commodities of coffee, cacao, and coconut, of course. Hindi po tayo magpapahuli sa coconut. And we're creating a lot of approach, but the most easy way to say it is really top-down and bottoms-up. So we have top-down, we're bringing investors, as Vasil was here, and other companies are here, and those who have been discussing with, so that they can partner with locals, with stakeholders, so that it will be there's a bigger impact outside of the microeconomics and all the movements within. So it's also bottoms up because we're bringing in the MSMEs, we're developing them across the value chain. So it's a whole of value chain approach, meaning we're helping not only with capacity development, not only with assisting in the market, but also with specialization in terms of organizing them. Props to the geared program of the MTIT. It has been always an inspiration to cluster, to put them together. And we're very lucky that we have very supportive partners. Kasi just right now, we organize this and it's very difficult. But that's why we're being pampered for the last 3 years with our partners, with MAFAR, of course, with MTIT, with BPDA. And right now, we're very happy that we are able to not reinvent the wheel, but to push further so that we can create more. And as of now, I guess we've developed a lot of things together, to name it. But like we were able to push around 5,000 tons already of coffee in the market that we have, discovered. We're already working together with enablers to enter the market for coconut. And cacao is slowly emerging from the shadows of the bigger industries and regions. So BARMM is slowly getting the picture or the attention that it deserves, but we have to make sure that it will become sustainable. That's why we also invited companies who are into circular economy, green economy, so that this will not be a one-time 4-year deal. This will be something that when we leave, projects live and go. So that CRESCENT project will just put the stamp on, hey, we have big partners, you can work with them. So that's why we're doing both approach. And the whole of value chain is really a good measure on the impact, not only on the big companies, but also to our smallholders. Because for us, that's still the strength and the spirit of what we're doing in the BAEP CRESCENT project. Thank you.
Okay. For the PCA, as also one of the intervenors in development, how have you been leading and collaborating with other development partners to create the competitive cooperatives?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. So as PCA, as one of the enablers of the coconut value chain, we do offer programs, both regularly funded, meaning a budget allocation from the national government, vis-a-vis the recently approved Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan. So both programs are gearing towards providing quality planting materials, but much more of the CFIDP per se, it's a whole of a nation approach wherein the social welfare and development, the economic and the environmental aspect or needs of our coconut farmers, individuals and groups are hopefully answered for. The CFIDP has 7 components, but majority of which are cooperative-based, organizational-based. So, and these are being co-managed or operated by 15 implementing agencies, from enterprise development, community enterprise development, to support services, to provision of health and medical services, and other components. And ultimately, PCA or the CFIDP shall answer most of at least 5 to 6 SDGs, particularly job generation, protection for the environment, equality, gender sensitivity as well, and poverty alleviations. Same with other enablers that we have upfront. So that's for PCA.
Okay, so now I would like to focus on our clients, the cooperatives, for Ma'am Jalika and Dada. My question is, I guess you have experienced other programs prior to the BAEP. What is the difference in the approach of the Bangsamoro Agri-Enterprise program that you feel has helped you a lot in becoming stronger cooperatives or community organizations?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pagpalain ka, Bangsamoro. So, in behalf of the organization One Maguindanao, coffee, coconut, and cacao industry in Maguindanao, as a representative here, what can I share to you on this wonderful moment is we have made a significant progress as of now. We started 2021, organized by MTIT, and December 24, 2021, organized by the PCA and as well as other commodities. So we are happy ended for 5 years. And we produced an 86 members and happy ended because of the help of the BAEP CRESCENT. We produced a 36 exhibitor after sending them for a training to 𝐊𝘫𝐵𝐺𝐻, Surigao, and we are happy so much because upon their arrival, they bring along with them the energy and commitment to produce all those things there display. So I'm inviting everybody to please join the council para makasali naman kayo sa Gracia. So thank you. Wassalam. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, actually, sir, bago lang kami po sa BAEP. So, ano nga to? Our involvement with BAEP was not just limited to activities focused on the exposure of may manabilang coffee. It also included some aspects of the entire process of making and ensuring coffee products are available. So, ang BAEP promotes sustainable and resilient business models that strengthen the local economy, preserve biodiversity, and support community self-sufficiency. Lang po.
Okay. So you're also with the manabilang services for the banana industry. Can
Yes,
you elaborate a little bit on what you're doing?
Sorry, sir?
Can you elaborate a little bit what you're doing in the banana industry?
Okay. Actually, sir, kasi sir, supposedly yung sister ko yung nandito kasi siya yung HR talaga. But our partnership po kasi with Unifruity, it started around 2008. So the partnership po with Unifruity is the Manabilang Services Incorporated. Kami po yung kami po yung bahala sa land access doon sa amin sa may Manabilang. Also yung yung mga tao. So yung Manabilang Services Incorporated, manpower agency, security agency, and also trucking services. So yung sa part naman po ng Unifruity Philippines is sila yung bahala sa post-handling and then also sa export logistics. So I'm also proud to say that may manabilang dito po sa atin sa BARMM, we produce the sweetest banana in the world according po sa Japan. So sa lahat po ng 7-Eleven sa Japan, it's coming from BARMM. So we're very proud of it po.
Also, it's a big potential, no? Okay. Now for our private partners, Amparitas, Algaprop, and Head, what are your experiences or expectations in dealing with the cooperatives or the communities in BARMM, the MSMEs, that would make your investment or trade with them successful? What do you expect from your local partners in the BARMM?
Ako muna, sir. Sir, please allow me to show a video clips before we could continue answering your question. Because establishing a company, something like any MSME, is very easy as long as you have money. But the most important thing is the sustainability along the way. The best thing is to have the proper training and other, of course, some consequences to be followed. So just allow me to show a 5 minutes video clip regarding how we started Amparitas and how we're able to sustain for the next 7 years and how we're able to attain or receive 8 national awards. Allow me, sir. Kindly play from DTI. I'm Jackie. Yeah. Thank you. si Engineer Ramon Barbosa. Professionally, usa ko ka licensed agricultural engineer. After my retirement last 2019, nag-establish yung upat ka kumpanya. Naglangkob kini sa Amparitas Integrated Natural Farm, Amparitas Coconut Manufacturing, Amparitas Food Product Manufacturing, and Amparitas Pasalubong Center. Sa Amparitas Integrated Natural Farm, ang purpose na to nga maghimo tag mga demonstration farm where makita sa mga young farmers, mga baguhang farmers, ug mga klase-klaseng edad sa farmer nga unta makita nila ang mga demonstration farm nga napalambo pinaagi sa natural way in order for them to survive sa next generation. Sa farm nato makita nato ang atong livestock gikan sa baboy, kanding, manok, pato, ato lang ginapakaon, ginabuhi pinaagi sa organic way of farming, natural way of farming. Nga at least dili sa mo resulta sa bakadaot sa lawas sa tao, pinaagi sa pagkaon ng daghang antibiotics. Ang atong main organic fertilizer sa atong umahan, naglangkob lang sa bunot o kukupit, nga mo itong gigamit nga pinakamayong organic fertilizer kay mas taas ni siya og potassium, nitrogen o phosphorus. Pinasikan sa atong obserbasyon o kanang resulta sa statistics, then mas maayo sa i-compare sa uban ng mga organic fertilizer. Ang atong Amparitas Integrated Natural Farm, Sonic Learning Site, Agricultural Training Institute and Farm School, where doon na tayo 5 ka-subject na gi-offer. Organic Agriculture in situ, doon na po tayo no training regulation. Naglangkob kini sa virgin coconut oil making, coconut sugar processing, coir fiber processing, tablia making o cacao production. So, sa entero Pilipinas, ang Amparitas Integrated Natural Farm mo lay dunay niini para makatuon kung sa pagpalambo ang atong value adding product gikan sa lubi. Na po tayo ginatukod nga Amparitas Coconut Manufacturing wherein ang atong main product mao kining mga coir fiber, mga biolags, coconut o mga ubang value-adding product gikan sa lubi. Dako kay nato ning nakatabang sa atong generation sa employment. Aduna tay mga indirect na trabahan kini more than 9,000 nga nag-supply og mga bunot at gitabangan para mapalambo ang ilang panginabuhi. Namukita og 250 pesos to 300 pesos per day. Sa coconut manufacturing, naga-install po ta og mga coconut sa highway o sa linya sa mga mining industries. Then dako kay ginatabang sa atong erosion control na ato kining mapakgang ang mga pag-erode sa yuta, makatabang po ni sa climate change. Although ato makita ang atong bunot ato lang ipanglabay, pero at least nga ang mga mag-uo makauna-una na ang bunot dahil dako kay nga tabang pagawas na ini makwartahan pag yun. Amparitas Food Product Manufacturing. Di nakita nato nga kasagarang mag-uuma sa lubi sa Pilipinas, dili gid mo lambo kaya atong lubi ato malay convert to kopra. Atong madato ana mga mamalitay kopras. Nakita nato nga kining value adding product sa lubi mao ni usa sa mga tinuoray nga tubag nga mapalambo nato atong mga mag-uuma sa lubi. Industriya sa lubi. Atong Amparitas Food Product Manufacturing, gamay lang na siya ka planta. Pero aduna tayo 23 ka line products. Sa business model nato sa atong Amparitas Coconut Manufacturing, wherein atong gi-practice, ang atong usa ka rubok lubi maabot sa 84 pesos. Wherein ang atong coconut husk, ang atong fiber maabot na sa 12 pesos. Considering doon na pa'y kukupit piso. Labi na karon nga nagmahal siya kay doon na tayo mga plantito-plantitas. Ang atong coconut meat, atong i-convert ng virgin coconut oil, mahimo na siya 43 pesos. Then, ang atong simply matured nga water, nga himuon na ito bukod just mo, income tag 26 pesos. Furthermore, doon na tayo income sa bagol, doon na tayo income sa fermented cord. Kanang fermented cord actually, waste na na siya sa virgin coconut oil. Mukita niya po tag piso kada buhok niya na. Kaya ito na siya i-convert ng mga ointment na mahimo nga tambal sa mga nuka. Solamente ang atong sapal, wala na ito kustingi. Kaya ito nang ginabalik sa atong mga hayop. Actually, kung atong kustingan, mudagan na siya og 5 pesos kada kilo. So, kanang 84 actually, mugasto lang na something like 1/3. Ado namin mga 40 plus nakita sa matag lubi kada adlaw. Then we have to operate at least 300 man lang kalubi kada adlaw. So 300 times 40, something like a minimum average of 12,000 per day. Nakitaon sa imong usa ka planta wherein the investment is only around 3 million. Wherein sa 23 line products, 12 ka produkto ni gikan sa coconut. Walay pinakamaayo nga tubag para mulambo ang atong mag-uuma. Gawas ang value adding product, gawas nga makita ta, makaproduce pa ta og mga employment. So ayaw mo pagdumili pagbisita sa farm para at least makita ninyo kung saan natin pagpalambo. Ang usa ka mag-uuma nga mahimo nga negosyante sa kaugalingon niyang abot. na mukita og dako pinaagi sa value-adding product. Thank you, sir. I'm expecting really a high rate of success in my engagement with the ECCP and the EU, considering that Jake Almansor has the right track in starting in engaging ang paritas. Because one of the most important to consider is the training in which he brings something like 30 participants last December in ang paritas. We're able to train them. And upon going here, upon going back here in Maguindanao, and upon entering the venue, I'm very happy enough in which I was able to see all the trainees have already applied all the learnings that they have. And already applied all the value-adding products that I have teach them during the training. So we're expecting that a year from now, we'll be having a generation of employment, more income, and more livelihood programs, especially on the value-adding products of the coconut. Number one is the training because it will build up awareness. It will develop the skills of the individual in which they could convert that simple coconut into a value-adding product into something like 84 to 104 pesos. In our case, we convert 84 to 114 pesos per piece of coconut, in which you are just selling something like 10 pesos to 12 pesos. By doing so, if in case you are just selling your coconut to some of the buyers, you are just transferring your property. When transferring your property of the coconut to other people, then you have no right already. But converting that into a value-adding product, it will generate more employment, then it will sustain the livelihood, especially of the coconut farmers here in Maguindanao. By doing so, generation of employment and other economic activities and additional revenues of the LGU will go as high as it be. Just something like patience, persistence, and perseverance. Thank you, sir.
I think what you have shown them is the dream of every coconut farmer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And seeing that you are already doing it has inspired them to and change their mindset to say that it can be done. Because for so long, that dream is something that they could not visualize, they could not realize. And the fact that they have seen it happening in your farm, then it becomes real for them. And that changes the behavior, the attitude of the farmer. Yes.
Sir, that's why I'm very thankful to Jake Almansor to bring these people to Amparitas. Without him, nobody will learn Amparitas because we don't shout any accomplishment that we have, but we deliver. We don't trust words, but we trust only actions. That's what Amparitas is. So we started something like 2018, but we're able to have something like 1.8 million, but we go as high as 48 to 50 million as of today. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, thank you also. And for the coconut farmers here, you can see what has been done with coconut. And since it has already been done, it's not impossible. Okay. Now, I would like to go to the seaweed sector. So, could we find out what you're doing and how you intend to go on with your business proposal for the BARMM?
All right. So, we've heard a lot about seaweeds today, and probably you've heard about seaweed many times in the past. So we all know that the seaweed industry is a massive industry here in BARMM, especially in Tawi-Tawi. And we all know that there are so many problems that are preventing the industry from changing in any way. And it's been like that for 60 years. So everyone here knows all about that. And so basically, 𝐁𝐀𝐑𝐌𝐿, it's a company that processes seaweed, but it does something different. It doesn't process seaweed into the normal product that has been made for 60 years. It makes new products. And this is something that I believe will be able to change the economics and the system of seaweed here in BARMM, because it frees up the economics. Instead of there being just one market, there's now 2, 3 markets, and that they can compete with each other. So you have free economics, no longer at the mercy of carrageenan. So also what's interesting is that it's going to be happening in Tawi-Tawi. It's not going to happen in Cebu or some other place. It's going to happen in Tawi-Tawi where 50% of the country's seaweed is produced. And it's not possible to do normal processing in Tawi-Tawi because there's no fresh water. But with these new products, it is possible. So it's, I believe, something that will be able to improve the incomes of the seaweed farmer quite significantly. And I think finally, after 60 years, there's going to be a little bit of change and seaweed farmers no longer have to live in bamboo huts as they have for always. Now, another thing I want to add is that, we could talk about value chain and systems thinking all day, and we will. But the fact is, we need to execute on this. And the people to execute are specifically something called an entrepreneur. So I've heard many times people, they mix up investors with entrepreneurs. They think only an investor can start a factory. Actually, it's an entrepreneur that is the project champion, and then they will convince the investors to back them and all the other things. So there is a need for more entrepreneurs here in BARMM to execute on all of this that has been talked about today and tomorrow. Without the entrepreneurs, nothing happens. And it's, no matter how much work is done in cooperative building and such, to be able to change the system requires radical, bold thinkers who are willing to take risks, to be able to take a risk on losing all their money, on all their credibility, everything. And there's not many people willing to do that. But if there are people who are willing to do that, then BARMM is the place to do it because there is so much opportunity here. And I think if BARMM can attract more entrepreneurs, not specifically investors, but entrepreneurs, then I think finally there will be some real change coming here. So that is I hope that's my unique message to everyone, is because entrepreneurs have not been talked about in these value chain analyses. I mean, a little bit, but not really. But they really are critical. So if you know entrepreneurs, you should convince them. You should come here to BARMM and do something amazing. And then you need to support them along that journey because it is so difficult, especially here in the BARMM. So thank you very much, and I'd love to talk to anyone here.
Okay, so from coconut and seaweeds, let's now proceed to rubber, our private partner here. So how would the BARMM factor into your business concern in rubber?
Okay, it's not only about the BARMM because we are buying a lot of rubber, national rubber. So what we expecting from our customers? Yes, so first of all, we expect this year from our customers at least 6,000 tons of caplams. So we need to buy it. What else do we expect? This is, of course, the long-term relationships. I mean, supply it in time with less cheating, because sometimes, what I mean less cheating with the rubber and caplams, no sand in the caplams, no pieces of stone, less water, and a little bit more of standardization with the aging of the caplams. Because mostly, like 70% everything we're buying, in every truck we find the caplams aged with 1 week and 6 weeks. It means we need to separate, clean, age the fresh caplams and then to process it. Another thing what we're expecting this year, so according to the World Bank research, the prices for the rubber this year the global prices will be growing probably in optimistic scenario up to 10%. And nevertheless, the oil prices is going down. But the main thing, it's Philippines at all, and especially the regions 10, 11, and BARMM, now becoming the global player in the rubber market because the big countries like Thailand, Vietnam, big producers now struggling because of the industry is slowly dying in that countries because of the not available workforce. The plantations are mostly old and the industry is changing. And the Philippines in the last 5 years became from place 9 in the world to place 6. Now the Philippines producing more rubber than Malaysia. It means there is a possibility for investment for the rubber plantations. The demand, global demand for rubber growing and will be growing for, I think, another 10 years at least. And it means we expect that the farmers will learn more, so have more skills and knowledge about how to grow rubber and how to prepare the rubber for supplying for the global market. Because now also, as we come here and we show that the global processing process for the rubber can be happen in the Philippines. Yes, before this year, I think 75% of all of the natural rubber was exported from the Philippines without the processing as raw materials. Now we're buying around 2% of the market, produce tennis balls, and now the tennis balls produced from the Filipino rubber, now it's half of all of the tennis balls in the world. So we prove it's possible, and I think this is what farmers and what we're expecting from our suppliers. They need to understand they're already in the global market. They need to meet the demands for the quality, for the partnership, and for the planning. I think that's all.
From what I have been hearing, it seems that our private partners are not only expecting to get the raw materials, but to have some value adding in the communities. And to be able to do that, we need strong local partners or local communities, MSMEs or cooperatives. And the question is, how can we work together to create that environment of having a strong local cooperative that will attract the buyers, the investors? Because I guess it will be easier for our investors if semi-processing can be done at the community level, and that you will just, because that's one step removed from your process, right? If they could produce, say, semi-processed rubber or semi-processed coconuts also, then it would be a great help for the investor. So the question is, how can we work together, the implementing agencies, the government, the cooperatives, and the private partners, or the investors, so that we can make this a reality?
Okay, the answer is very easy. We already work together here, so this is the start. Yes. So yes, you just described how the clusters works. Yes, but the beginning of each of the cluster, it's using the shoe leather. So what we're doing as investors, we go to the Basilan Island, we meet the farmers, we check the factories, and our next step, we now, this year, we make a decision. We will be also switching all of the natural rubber products from Thailand producers, Korean producers, and other countries to here, to the Philippines. Because we need to see with our own eyes the people who we will be cooperating with, their capabilities, and the product they produce. Then we can do it. So our role is to provide the knowledge, so describe what we need from them and give them money for that. So
you give them the standards and how to attain the standards and pay for it so that they will do more of it. Yes. So how about Alga Prop?
So in the case of seaweed, and maybe it's the case with other agricultural products, there isn't really any quality-based pricing, or the pricing isn't transparent, these kinds of things. So there's no reason for the seaweed farmer to farm longer or to have a cleaner seaweed, because the trader is going to buy it anyway. And so that is a bit of a problem. But if there is the implementation of quality-based pricing structures, so if it meets this criteria, this is the price it gets, and it's all clear to the farmers, then slowly we can see some improvements in the quality assurance from the farmer side, because they're going to want to achieve that higher price. So that's the system that we utilize for seaweed.
Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
Hello. For the coffee, let us known to all of us that coffee is a commodity that brings people together. Second is 1 kilo of a coffee ground coffee. If you made it in the barista, it will become 12,000 ang conversion niya. Kasi 8 grams lang man yung isang baso. So, pangatlo is, let be known to all of us that the Philippines is having 600,000 cups a day. Yun ang nauubos niya. Lalo na ang Maguindanao. Because hindi matapos ang meeting kung walang kape to be served. So, thank you.
Okay, sir. Actually, ang Paritas is operating a circular economy, zero waste company. We have to utilize everything from cocoa water to coconut husk. One important product that we have is the coconut husk, in which we convert into coir fiber. Because coir fiber is the answer of unemployment, which is the basic, the most important to be considered in the Philippines. Number 2 is that coir fiber is also the answer of climate change. In our case, we have already the Philippine Coconut Authority who have already funded so many decorticating machines throughout the country. When in fact, I am the one who designed that decorticating machine. A 5,000 decorticating machine capacity could generate an employment of 800 people. That is in our case. As of now, we are operating something like more than 9,000 throughout the country. We have people there in Naga City helping the LGU to rehab the landslide areas. We have also some operating in the Caraga region, in the mining industries. DPWH, something like that. The most important thing here in the BARMM, we have 2 decorticating machines. During my time as a regional director, I have supported in Datu Sinsuat and in Parang. That is one to be considered to generate an employment something like 9,000 people. I will buy all the twine ropes, if in case that will be operating. Because as of now, I am buying twine ropes from Cebu. Lamak is one of the biggest co-op in the country. But I am the one who buy that twine ropes and coconut. Pagadian, all the PRDP projects in Pagadian, I am the one who buy all the coconut ropes, the twine ropes. That's why that is a big investment that will generate so much employment in BARMM, especially we're already having a meeting with Jake to mobilize all that decorticating machine. Because that will really help the coconut farmers to engage more, especially that they will increase their income.
Okay, so our development partners, what are your thoughts?
During the early stage of the Fair Value Project, we conducted the value chain study. No? So actually, the QR code of this value chain study for rubber, coffee, and seaweeds are available in our booth. Nag-promote. Isa booth po namin, no? Nandoon yung QR code ng value chain study, so you can visit it there. So from the value chain study, we saw that there are levels of recommendations. There are short-term recommendations, mid-term, and long-term recommendations. Short-term recommendations, katulad nga ng sinabi ni Ma'am Ami kanina, that after the project duration, the clusters, the people that we are helping will be endorsed doon sa care naman ng ating mga service providers, which are our ministries, offices, and agencies in the BARMM. So that's why from our side, we see to it that the short-term and the mid-term recommendations, as long as we can cover it within the duration of the project, we do it. We find partners, and we are very lucky that we had found partners such as MAFAR, MTIT, CISEA, MILG, MOLE, and the local government units are very supportive and very active in their participation and contribution doon sa Fair Value Project, no? Owning it as their own as well, actually. With this, we saw also in the recommendations and through the discussions among the farmers, because kanila naman ito at the end of the day, we saw the gap, no, that they cannot really perform or engage with market, for example, with all of the things that are lacking still doon sa kanilang organization. Sige nga, of all the MSMEs, mga organizations na nandito, sino sa atin ang meron ng sariling bank account na nakapangalan sa organization natin? Taas kamay. Congratulations, no? Palakpakan nyo yung mga sarili, because Amana Bank can testify at saka yung ating mga banks that this is required as pati din sa ating mga partners, or no, as experience, these are required, no, sa ating mga engagement sa market. They do not pay directly doon sa individual. They pay doon sa organization. So the organization should have that account. Another thing, part of the intervention is yung ating organizational strengthening, including, maliban sa capacity development that we've conducted from production up to investment, ay yung kanilang compliances with the requirements of, for example, registration with the Cooperatives and Social Enterprise Authority, or CDA, or SEC, or MOLE, no? Kasi requirement din ito para mag-open ng bank account. So these are all compliances, and these are all required para pag-engage sa market. So without this, without the support to this, no, mahirap yung engagement later on. Then at the same time, we cannot live it. Hindi naman sa minamaliit natin yung farmer, but then majority ay limited yung knowledge in terms of engagement to formal market arrangements or agreements. So, for example, kung smallholder farmers, directly we engage them to market through a memorandum of agreement, which is legal, no? Merong mga legal implications na kailangan sundin. And they should follow it strictly, no? May legal liability. So we started with memorandum of understanding. At least this is more parang kumbaga pa there are areas na for the farmers and the market to adjust in forming a long-term and sustainable relationship with each other. So that's what we did when we had our engagement with Dennis Coffee Garden, for example, in Sulu, for our coffee in Sulu, with Headsport Philippines, when we signed the MOU last week, no, in Davao, at Headsport Philippines Incorporated Plant, no, in Panabo. So we started with the MOU, with the Memorandum of Understanding. After that, we have series of capacity buildings, just like Headsport mentioned that we need to follow standards that they require, no, from our farmers. And our farmers have the limited understanding and limited access to these standards. What are these standards? Specifically, and most importantly, kapag ito ay food, no? There are a lot of standards and compliances that is required. So, those are the facilitations we do. But, most of all, bottom line, it's the communication, sir. That's we saw na very important. Communication with our government partners, with our private sector partners, and at the same time with our non-government partners. So it's a stakeholder, whole of value chain approach, no, for us to be able to ensure a sustainable relationship between our upstream actors, which are our farmers, and our mid and downstream actors, which are our market and our partners. Thank you po.
Yeah, to add maybe, no, I guess it's the same thing as what have been discussed. Like for example, I'll jump off from the perspective of head sports. They already dipped their fingers already in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, and that's already brave. It's an ongoing discussion of how big companies or private sector organizations can go and do business in BARMM. And I guess the project like CRESCENT project is, from a business perspective, is an organization or is a project or a program that can really bridge this gap, because it is more on putting together people who has this need and the supply and the demand together and work together. I guess that's what we have been doing in the project for the past 3 years. I haven't gone home for a long time because I'm always out and talking to farmers, talking to big companies. You have to go to the level of the investors because this is a market-driven economy. We move with what the market demands right now because we don't have yet all the capacity and the capabilities that we need. Props, for example, for companies like Kenram Palm Oil, Sir Al, they are working closely with us in terms of developing these nodes, these areas that you think is not already, or have no option to develop, but still they're pushing, we are pushing the limits because we believe that there is still areas that we can master, that there is a need for, not only for revenue generation, but also for employment, but also for a vision or a values transformation, a theory of change, for example. That's what, from the perspective of bringing investors or enablers. We even have guests here from Kuala Lumpur who brave hours of travel just to be with us because they believe that there's a potential. We are always in the PSA data, third, fourth biggest supply. We are on that level, yet we are not mastering or maximizing those potentials. So from the perspective of the MSMEs, I think I've spent most of my time for the past 3 years working with them, hearing their problems, hearing their problem with the government, hearing their problem with their own localities. And yet, we need the support of those government, those public sector, and the private sector-led effort like the councils, industry councils, big companies, MSMEs, industry councils that has been organized by our MTIT, MAFAR, is essential for us to cover all the bases because it's hard to move. And I think there's a lot of learning, but also a lot of potential there as well. We're able to generate a lot of not only noise, but impact, particularly in our pilot experience with coffee in Amay Manabilang and Maguindanao, for example. We were able to bet on the impact that it will generate not only because it will win awards. We have been winning awards in the Philippine Coffee Quality Competition for the past 2 years. But yet, our most impactful result with our coffee is how much have we been selling, how much the value has increasing. So we're able to sell value for as much as 2,000, 3,000 pesos per kilo. And that's already a big jump for a farmer, a simple smallholder farmer. Now we talk about people like Miss Ada or her family who are venturing to support more farmers to create more jobs and to create more impact for the coffee industry. Now we find people who can put their own money, local investors, to develop their own communities. So that's just one of many examples. And another one would be, of course, our new effort when it comes to the coconut. What has been the most present and prevalent in the BARMM, aside from the water hyacinth, is really coconut, palm oil. It's already there. It's all conventional. But yet, we can do something more about it. We have emerging products out of the coconut. We have the traditional ones, but we have more to offer. The demand for GeoNet nationally is bigger than our own supply. So, the demand for white copra, for a better copra that enters the EU market is getting more in demand. No? MOSH, MOA will be an issue, but that's why we're creating these simple tweaks with our systems so that we can promote and we can get more out of our products. It's already there. It's all planted. And the same thing with cacao and other, we were not canceling it. It's more of working together and finding common denominators with this one. And I'm very happy that activities like this happen because this is one way to talk, to network, to generate, not only for as an achievement for the project, but as an achievement, as a sustainable way to move forward, especially for our smallholder farmers. Because if they will not earn, well, what's the goal? I mean, what's the point of doing all of this? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, from PCA.
Yes, I'd like to take off from what have our ladies and gentlemen have been speaking to. I can speak about the coconut industry. Again, the CFIDP or the Coconut Farmers Industry Development Plan has its whole of a nation approach wherein all of the members of the value chain should be on board. Our Coconut Farmers Organization as our partners, contributors of ideas, and we, the government, as the enablers, the private sectors as another layer of enablers, should be somehow, should have one heartbeat, we should be harmonized, we should have one calendar if possible, because that has been the case, at least for the coconut. the model actually is a very, very good model. It's just that there are impediments and, the bureaucracy is happening in and outside the government as the enablers, thereby impending the realization of the model. But and one thing that I am also hopeful for is that the government, somebody from the government should have champions. Not necessarily the leader or the head of the office, but perhaps those who work to make this model possible. Sana sila yung maging champions, maging mukha ng mga model, especially those 15 implementing agencies. I mean, somebody, apart from PCA as the lead convener, should champion and keep all the implementing agencies and partners abreast of what is really happening and what should happen. In short, they should carry the torch so that all our stakeholders, especially our coconut farmers, may be led to proper and to follow the roadmap that we have developed for the last 5 years. And ultimately, we hope that more farmers would be converted as entrepreneurs. We call them agropreneurs, coconut entrepreneurs, not just to produce incomes by themselves, but also to expand it to their immediate communities. Well, of course, to their cooperative members first, and their to communities, until such time that they will be able to generate more job outside their community. While we put money to their pockets or their bank accounts, we also help them realize that there are not just suppliers of raw materials. They can be their own CEOs of their own farms. They can be chief operating officers of their own farms. And that's what RM Bobo is doing in his farms. And hopefully, at least may isa or dalawa kada probinsya na maging singlaki at singyaman ni Amparitas in 3 to 5 years' time. Who knows? Through the help of BAEP and all other enablers up front.
Okay, very nice. So siguro, let's go one round. Your final thoughts or message from this discussion. Ano lang?
Ano ba? So it's been 13 days since 2026. We are 13 days fresh of rekindling our hopes and aspirations to become rich. Not just financially, but again, to be rich by way of helping people, by way of generating incomes, and rekindling the aspiration and hopes for our families and the communities around us. My hope, my hope na sana isa or dalawa man lang from this panel or from this gallery will be as rich as Amparitas beside me. Or baka nga lampasan nyo pa yung kanilang revenue. Who knows? May maipadala tayong coconut-based products in one of the international expos na imamanage ng MTIT BARMM. Who knows? Isa sa mga cooperatives natin dito, kaya nang mag-ship ng coconut water sa China. Kaya na mag-ship ng coconut water sa US, which by the way demands 8 million metric tons weekly. And si Jensen, Region 12 lamang ang nakakaproduce ng 1 container van. And China is requiring 8 container vans sa Jensen. Baka naman, isa or dalawa sa inyo dito kaya na mag-produce ng matured coconut water. Who knows? One of you here will represent BARMM in one of the international expos sa Europe as one of the best coconut oil in the world. So that's my aspiration. We want the government to see you guys grow, not just financially, but also to grow, to imbibe the growth mindset. That we can no longer be a supplier. We can also create ideas, products, and we can also create hopes and aspirations sa kapwa nating coconut farmers dito sa BARMM. With the help of these people up here. So with that, pagpalain sana tayo and hiraya manawari. Mangyari sana ang ating mga pangarap. Thank you.
Thank you, Lister, the PD of PCA, BARMM. So I would like to encourage the coconut farmers, especially the coconut farmers itself, that will not just be selling our coconut in raw materials, but we had to convert it into a value-adding product because that is the only way. That is the only way in which the coconut farmer could earn so much more on the coconut. Then, the Amparitas way, I'll just try to extend our logo, or extend our motto that you just always open your hands. Opening your hands means not only financially, but all the knowledge that you have, all the ideas that you have, because at Amparitas, we don't want to keep secret. We have to encourage everyone to tell the truth, anything that is something like company secret, no. Because that company secret will not be transferred to anybody who is also engaged in the production of the coconut. So open your hands, Proverbs 16:3, be generous all in all. Then open your hands, meaning to say you have to extend all the things, you have to transfer the technology, because God will be giving you so much more. Then, just wait for the time, Isaiah 16:22, that if the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. Everybody will be happy, especially the coconut farmers itself, that you will be more rich, sir, than you are. Because coconut farmers is very rich. Imagine, coconut farmers are the only farmer that have a coconut in the farm itself. In our case, I will teach you that 20 coconut trees in your farm, you could earn as much as 400,000 by making vinegar alone. 400,000 for 1 year by 20 hills alone. When in fact, cocoa sugar making could make you richer, something like 1.6 million. That is the net profit for the coconut sugar. That's why, every now and then, if in case there will be some training, just try not to hesitate to join. Because training is the only way in which you could open your minds. Not simply seminar, because seminar is just teaching something like that. But in training, it will include hands-on. Do not hesitate to attend, do not hesitate to join, because that is the only way maybe that will help you bring your dormancy from the poverty to a high level of richness. Thank you very much.
Hello once again. For the coffee industry, I'm urging everybody to please plant coffee. With our wide tract of vast land located at Maguindanao Sur and Norte. I'm also informing you that Maguindanao Norte, nandito yung Langkong series. What the soils technology have said, that is fertile soil found in the municipality of Buldun, Barira, and Matanog. And mind you, coffee is really good. And 1 hectare of coffee, kung piliin mo yung 2/3 ang distance, you should have 1,000 hills. So 1,000 times 1 kilo per 3. So 1,000 na rin. Times mo 500 ngayon ang GCB. So kayo na lang ang magsagot. Ano yung sum total niya? Thank you.
Okay, so on behalf of seaweed, I think it's very important that the seaweed industry has these new opportunities, these new businesses making new products. So without new products, things are going to stay the same as they have always. And so if you'd like to support our efforts in Tawi-Tawi, come talk to me. I'd love to meet you and discuss in detail how we can work together to improve the industry in a real way and make action today and also tomorrow and the day after that. Thank you.
Tama si Ina Jalika. Plant, 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 plant. So kami rin po sa May Manabilang, gusto ko lang i-highlight, we're also expanding yung coffee namin. So ngayon yung 92 hectares na meron kami ngayon, we're expanding 108. Nagsa-start na din po kami. But we're not only focusing on Arabica, we're also meron din po kaming Robusta. So, yun po, plant, kasi yayaman po tayo sa kape. Thank you.
Thank you po. Quoting from Director Isma mentioned during his message nung signing ng MOU between Headsport Philippines and the rubber farmers. No? We cannot promote BARMM only sa pamamagitan ng ating struggle sa BARMM. No? As a Bangsamoro also, no? We can now promote BARMM through our commodities. So that's why we really wanted na yung ating mga commodities in BARMM are following standards already. We have global market access. Katulad, for example, in Basilan, when rubber farmers in Basilan realizes that their rubber are materials used for balls used in international tournaments, globally, for example. So this will change their mindset, diba? This will provide pride. They will feel proud of the product they have. This will change the way they tap their rubber trees now with tender love and care, no? And give more details on the standards at the post-harvest activities. When people, for example, have decent sources of income, halal income, no? Sustainable livelihood, for example. So these are factors that would ensure na wala ng in order, unsafe, at saka irregular migration. No? We will not be forced to flee, to go outside, which we could face unsafe jobs, for example. Dahil sa local pa lang natin, meron na tayong source ng ating halal and sustainable income. So yun lang po, maraming salamat.
Okay, so we come to the Philippines, one of the reasons, because the Mindanao Island was one of the less industrialized island in the Philippines, and the level of industrialization here was very low. So what I see for this last 2 years, so the industrialization of Mindanao Island is started. So factories built every day for the coconut market. Now one of the biggest player comes here. The factory is already under the construction, and it means the life of the people in this island will change. This is the good news. And also the good news, but you have to be careful to don't make the same mistake that Vietnam, Thailand already did. You need to focus on the products with a high added value. Because in the other way, Philippines will run out of workforce also in 20 years. And if you will not be on the high value-added markets, you will have the same problems Vietnam and Thailand now have. So you have all of the potential, and you are in the much better condition than them because you are English speakers, and you much easier can communicate with your customers. And probably the good thing, it's you now in the beginning of this road, and also you have to be careful with the markets you work in. So you need to focus on European markets, on other markets with a big volume and the high demands. This is how you will become the successful country. Thank you.
Okay, so to summarize our discussion this afternoon, I think it's very clear that for the success of the industry, any industry, whether it's coconut, seaweeds, coffee, or rubber, it needs a whole of industry approach. The whole value chain, from the farmers to the processors to the market, the government agencies assisting, the development partners, and even the financing institutions. Everyone must work together, must be on the same page, so that the industry will be able to innovate, develop, and sustain. The development partners will not be there forever because the project ends, but government will always be there, the cooperatives will always be there, the business sector will always be there, and maybe some of the development partners will always be there in another capacity. So, I think this is something that we should develop and nurture. Working together, collaborating, cooperating, and having one direction for the industry and for the region of the BARMM. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all of you for listening to our discussion. And I would like to thank our panelists for the great ideas that you have shared this afternoon. Thank you and good afternoon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please. Thank you so much for that significant discussion on empowering cooperatives and entrepreneurs' business competitiveness, dear panelists. Our gratitude goes as well to our brilliant moderator, Mr. 𝐶𝐶. At this point, allow us to present our certificate of appreciation to our panelists. And we are also inviting again our keynote speaker, Mr. 𝐓𝐫𝐷𝐻𝐻. Kindly join them on stage, please. So you're also able to receive your certificate. This time we will have a photo opportunity. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. That concludes our third session for this afternoon. This time, as we look toward building a resilient and inclusive agricultural sector in BARMM, the importance of integrating climate-smart practices cannot be overstated. To guide us on adopting strategies that combine sustainable agribusiness with social development, we are honored to have with us another keynote speaker. Mr. Tong Adzal Abbas is the Director 2 for Research, Development and Extension at MAFAR BARMM with 29 years of experience in crop production and management. He specializes in agricultural research and provides strategic leadership for RDE programs, projects, and operations. Throughout his career, he has been involved in various RDE initiatives and serves as a resource speaker on topics such as addressing climate change and inclusive community development. He holds an MS in agronomy from UP Los Baños and has completed relevant trainings and certifications in climate change and value chain development. Mr. Tong A. Abbas will share his expertise on adopting a climate-smart agribusiness and inclusive social development strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please.
Okay, so good afternoon to each and everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat, no? But before that, siguro, i-mention ko muna, nandito yung pinaka-boss ko. Nandito ang ating Deputy Minister, Deputy Minister Aisa Abdullah Sanggakala. Nandito siya. And then, nandito din yung mentor ko, no? From previously, siya yung Director ng Research ng Department of Agriculture before, Dr. Daud 𝐁𝐀𝐑𝐌𝐿 and company. And then sa ating lahat, good afternoon sa ating lahat. Okay, so I am from the Research, Development and Extension. No? Just a while ago, meron topics on product development and currently, actually, just to inform, we are doing product development on marang, durian, and mangosteen, including sakurab. No? So, gusto ko nga makipag-usap sa MTIT and of course, MOST. Actually, meron tayong collaboration with Food Development Center sa Taguig, no, Metro Manila, no, for the product development on sakurab. And sakurab now ay nakadevelop na tayo ng parang isang product on bland sakurab. Pwede na nating i-export, no, yung sakurab, pero unfortunately, ang concern natin ngayon sa BARMM ay yung processing facilities and isang requirements doon ay dapat license to operate yung facility natin, no. So pero we are working on that, no. So yun, so meron tayong products to be developed. I think lalabas this year yung sakurab and marang ice cream, okay? So hindi yung topic ko, no. Ang topic ko ay addressing climate change and inclusive community development, no. So yung topic ko ay it's more on doon sa ano ng MAPAR, touch ng MAPAR, okay? So sige. So alam natin yung climate change, no, poses significant risk to agriculture, fisheries, and rural livelihood. So alam natin yun, no? Lahat concern natin yung climate change, no? So sino ba yung dapat talagang affected ng climate change? Unang-una, yung mga vulnerable communities. They are the farmers, fisher folks, and of course, the agrarian reform. So yun yung actually benefiting farmers ng MAPAR. No? So, MAPAR plays a vital role in promoting climate resilience and inclusive development. No? So, malaki talaga ang role ni MAPAR pagdating sa climate change and of course, community development. Next slide, please. Balikan ko lang yung nangyari from the very start na pumasok si BARMM, no, from 2019 hanggang 2025 hanggang ngayon. No, so for 2019, 2020, kung mapapansin nyo, halos wala masyadong mga events related to climate change, no. Kung meron man, hindi siya ganun yung significant effects or impacts sa farming and fishing ay hindi siya ganun. 2022, nagkaroon ng severe tropical storm Paeng, no. So alam natin kung ano yung nangyari during Paeng, no. So ang nangyari doon ay nagkaroon pa rin ng flooding, no. Landslides, major humanitarian impact, no. So ganun kaano yung climate change, no, sa atin. December 2022 to January 2023, nagkaroon ng seasonal flood system, no. Sa ano bang impact sa Bangsamoro region? Nagkaroon ng extended Mindanao flooding affecting BARMM. No? So, malaki talaga yung nangyari dito noong 2022. 2023, pumasok naman si Christine, no? And then, flooding pa rin, no? Nagkaroon ng multiple, flooding in multiple provinces, and then displacement, no? So, nagkaroon din ng evacuation ng mga fisher folks and farmers natin. 2024, pumasok naman si El Nino, no. So hindi na talaga nawawala yung effects ng climate change dito sa Bangsamoro. Before, medyo hindi mo siya ma-feel na merong like typhoons dito sa Mindanao, na specifically dito sa Bangsamoro region. And then 2024, merong ITZZ in Intertropical Convergence Zone, no. So heavy rains, flooding, and landslides. 2025, meron pa ring ITZZ, and then ang effect ay plus floods in Maguindanao and other areas, even Llano del Sur and other provinces. And then 2025 July, pumasok naman yung monsoon flooding. Okay? So it's more on dun sa affecting BARMM also, no? So yun yung effect ng climate change dito sa Bangsamoro pa. Gusto ko lang balikan yung information na yon or events na yon. Next. Okay. Sabi ko kanina, ang pinaka-affected dito ay mga farmers, fisher folks, and agrarian reform beneficiaries natin. Lalo na sa MAFAR, sa case ni MAFAR. In 2022, halos walang affected. Kung meron man, very negligible. And for 2023, it's more than 11,000 farmers and fisher folks talagang affected by the typhoon. Okay? Yung climate change. 2024, 26,000 plus more than 4,000 sa case ni fisher folks. And that's more than 30,000 farmers affected by climate change. And then 2025, more than 20,000 affected by climate change. Okay, so kung titingnan natin yung trend, pataas ng pataas, yung mga farmers affected by climate change. Nandiyan yung typhoon, super typhoon, and other calamities. Let's proceed. Okay. Si MAPAR, meron tayong mga farmers supporting climate change. Unang-una, dito yung development ng sustainable fishery value chain. And that's between MAFAR, Japan, and of course, nandyan din yung FAO natin. Okay? So, then, pangalawa, meron tayong Digital Village Initiative, and that's from the aquaculture and fisheries. That's between MAFAR and FAO. Okay? And then, number 3, we are expecting that MAPAR Lands is supporting climate change programs. No? Okay? Dun sa mga farmers, lalo na dun sa mga entrepreneurs natin. And then, of course, Bangsamoro Agri-Fishery Program. Ito yung sponsored ng program na to, yung BAEP. No? So, then number 5, participation in World Bank-funded climate resilient projects. Nandiyan yung Peace Corps, the 𝐊𝐵𝐷, and of course, the PRDP scale-up. Okay? And then, number 6, soil health and sustainable farming practices, and that's between MAFAR and the BSWM, the Bureau of Soils and Water Management. Okay? And then, number 7, the gender, youth, and inclusive capacity building. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. As I have said a while ago, there is an increased frequency of floods, droughts, and extreme weather events in the Bangsamoro. And then, that resulted to reduce yung agricultural productivity and fishery resources. For 2024, pansin nyo, bumaba yung gross regional domestic product ng Bangsamoro. And that's due to flooding and other events. No? Lalo na dun sa mango, banana, and other crops. Sugarcane, of course, kasama dun sa kung bakit bumaba ang gross regional domestic product ng BARMM. And then, ang climate change is also like threats to food security and household income. Of course, pag affected yung mga farmers natin dito sa Bangsamoro, income is also affected. Next. So ito yung pwede niyong makita kung paano like nag-increase yung effects ng flooding, of course, yung weather events, no? Yung flooding and drought. Medyo pumasok na siya in 2024, pumapasok na ngayon si drought. And then nandiyan si flooding, hindi siya nawawala. Okay? So that's the effect of weather events. Next. Okay, ano ba talaga yung MAPAR mandates and role? No? Unang-una, we want to ensure sustainable agriculture and fisheries development by supporting climate resilient farming and fishing communities. No? Mapansin nyo doon sa picture na doon, meron tayong next gen projects. Actually, we are doing like identifying climate resilient varieties dito sa Bangsamoro. And meron tayong project with the RCEP programs. Lahat ng resort ng mga studies natin ay actually we recommend yung mga varieties na talagang drought resistant, high yielding, and of course yun, climate smart ready varieties natin dito sa Bangsamoro. So, and that is actually in collaboration with Philippine Rice and of course the International Rice Research Institute. Okay? Next. Okay, promotion of climate smart agriculture technologies. Every program, no? So, SIMAFAR, we have program on organic farming and reduce, of course, chemical inputs, no? So, yeah. And then also, we also like recommending that our farmer beneficiaries should also do like agroforestry and reforestation initiative, although hindi actually mandate ng MAFAR yan. Next. And of course, etong development of drought and flood-resistant crop varieties. We have collaborative efforts on the development of drought and flood-resistant crop varieties in the Bangsamoro region. We have collaboration with 𝘊𝘰𝐵 and of course the Philippine Rice Research Institute. So it's more on dun sa improved water management and irrigation system and of course early warning system and climate information services kung saan si MAFAR ay meron tayong collaboration with 𝘊𝘰𝐵 on the PRISM project. Si PRISM ay it's more on the mapping the rice areas, mapping the yield of rice. Actually, we can estimate the yield of rice in the Bangsamoro through the PRISM project. Okay? Next. And then, of course, nandun pa rin si MAFAR pagdating sa empowerment of small farmers and fisherfolk, especially on gender-responsive and youth-inclusive programs. We also support to indigenous peoples and conflict-affected areas. Doon pumapasok ngayon si 𝐁𝐀𝐑𝐌𝐵. Okay? Next. And then, of course, participatory planning and decision-making involving farmers and fisherfolk also relative to climate-smart programs. No? By strengthening farmers and fisherfolk organization and, of course, capacity building and skills development at the community level. Next. And then, ito yung talagang magandang practices ni MAFAR, coordination with local government units, national agencies, and academe, no? Actually, we have partnership with Project Saray, kung alam niya yung Project Saray, with UP. Merong, actually, by this coming February, merong memorandum of agreement with UP system regarding Project Saray. So, ang gandang project collaboration effort. No? And then, leveraging public-private partnership for sustainable impact. And this is actually, ang ginagawa ng research ng MAFAR dito ay it's more on like rice derby. For example, dun sa mga private companies, ginagawa natin yon just to show mga high-yielding varieties developed by the private companies and makikita dito sa Bangsamoro region. So we do that in MAFAR. Next. Of course, ways forward, no? We mainstream climate change action in all MAFAR programs, no? Definitely. And of course, scale up inclusive and climate resilient interventions, of course. And then strengthening monitoring, evaluation, and knowledge sharing. Next, please. Okay, in conclusion, climate change action and inclusive development must go hand in hand. No? So MAFAR remains committed to resilient, sustainable, and inclusive communities. Next. So with that, maraming salamat and good afternoon sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tong A. Abas, for sharing valuable insights on adopting climate-smart agribusiness practices while promoting inclusive social development in BARMM. Your strategies and experiences provide a strong foundation for our next conversation. We now invite our distinguished panelists to join us on stage as we explore on the topic addressing climate change and inclusive community development. Let me go over them individually. The first member of the panel is a Filipino agricultural scientist, entrepreneur, and award-winning cheesemaker, best known as the founder of Malagos Farmhouse. A graduate of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, with degrees in animal science and animal nutrition, and with specialized training in tissue culture and genetic engineering. She built a strong background in dairy research, agribusiness, and farm management. A devoted wife and mother of three, she balanced family life with creative pursuits in writing, crafts, and cooking, later channeling her expertise into artisan cheese making. Since 2005, her work has helped place Davao on the Philippine culinary map, earning her numerous accolades including ASEAN Entrepreneur of the Year, Inspiring Filipina, Distinguished Alumna of Lupi Los Baños, and the 2021 BCY Innovation Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Olive Puentespina. Another addition to the panel is the Executive Director of Manila Water Foundation, where he leads the strategic implementation of water access, sanitation and hygiene solutions, and environmental programs contributing to holistic community development. Since joining Manila Water Company in 2014, he has held pivotal roles including training manager for Manila Water University and HR business partner for companies MW Philippine Ventures in Asia Pacific, as he delivers integrated talent management and leadership development initiatives. As an advocate for societal impact, he currently serves in the Board of Trustees of Cebu Manila Water Foundation and Adarna Group Foundation. He is also a lecturer in Lead to Serve Program of Association of Foundations, a peer evaluator of Philippine Council for NGO Certification, a corporate member of NEDA UN SDG Stakeholder Chamber, and a national director of JCI Philippines. He is also a national top-notch of the Bayer Young Environmental Envoy 2003 and an alumnus of Ayala Young Leaders Congress 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause please for Mr. Reginald Andal. Our next member of the panel is the Executive Director of Oxfam Pilipinas, which is a national member of the Global Oxfam Confederation. She has held other senior posts in Oxfam International, including Policy Director of Oxfam Hong Kong, based in Hong Kong and Beijing. She's a Community Development graduate from the College of Social Work and Community Development of UP Diliman and holds a master's degree in Social Anthropology of Development from the School of Oriental and African Studies of the University of London. She has also served on the faculty of the College of Social Work and Community Development of UP Diliman and the Anthropology discipline at UP Baguio. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Ms. Maria Rosario Felizco. Joining the discussion, of course, is our keynote speaker, Mr. Tong A. Abbas, on stage. Moderating this session again is Mr. Antonio Peralta with the key session topic on addressing climate change and inclusive community development. We also have our last panelist to join them on stage, the United Youth of the Philippines Women, Mr. Moner Alim. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're still all of us are still awake, right? It's been a long afternoon for all of us, but I think this is a very important topic, one that touches everyone else. Nobody is exempt from climate change as it has hit our communities. It's not just in agriculture, it's also everywhere, even for those that are not in the agricultural business. So basically, what we have seen here over the years is the government's efforts to really fight climate change. No? So the effort to adapt to climate change is something that was very much being pursued by agencies like the Climate Change Commission. And also, you have a number of offshoots like Project Saray of UPLB. Project Saray, which is headed by Dr. Victoria Espaldon, has really pioneered on a number of things, among which is really weather forecasting, especially for small grower farmers. And I have seen a number of the farms that they have assisted where they have equipped a number of them with portable weather stations, and that has helped a lot. And also the aspect, I mean, if you look at the water situation, because that's also another thing, we are very much below sea level here, Cotabato. So the flooding in this area is very much a serious matter. So earlier you did mention, and I will start with our main speaker, Mr. Tong Abbas. You mentioned about the kind of adaptability of the seedlings. And I presume that you're talking about rice, the drought resistant, the flood resistant. There's a third one that I did not hear you say. And that is the aspect of salt, the one that is resistant to salt water. Yes, because that has been very much, and we have seen this kind of impact among coastal communities that plant rice. So we've seen also that they have spent a lot of money putting in dams, putting in a lot of interventions. All what they needed was really changing the type of rice seedling varieties. Again, this is another way of really promoting that. Now, what I'd like to ask is you are now adopting a climate-smart agriculture and fisheries strategy. So how are you going about this initiative? Are you partnering with other entities like the EU Copernicus project? Because I heard earlier that you already are partnered with Saray. So sa EU Copernicus, are you partnered with them? EU. The EU Copernicus project is a satellite-based service that the European Space Agency provides. This is something else that some farms here in Mindanao, I'm aware, have already availed of this because satellite reading provides a very good manner of managing your farms. Because with that, you get, through the color coding that you're able to generate from the satellite pictures, you're able to see if there's pest infestation. And also, a very important thing also is the availability of groundwater. But the DA, I don't know if this has been, you're aware of this. Are you aware of the DA Farmers Roadmap? The Farmers Roadmap is a program that the Department of Agriculture in the country has employed, and it has, it can tell you the condition of your present farms in terms of, apart from crop suitability, it also tells you the availability of water. Whether you are already at the low point or in the midpoint, or you still have a high level, no? But I think here in the BARMM, I don't think there's that issue of low water because again of the activity in your agriculture. So I'd like to know, are there any other partners that you have apart from Saray?
Okay, so good afternoon sa ating lahat. No? Actually, relative to rice production, especially on the identifying rice that is tolerant, for example, to pest and diseases, high-yielding rice varieties. Actually, our partners is 𝐷𝐸 and, of course, the Philippine field rice. And even before, actually, even sometimes, I think more than 10 years now, our partnership is nandyan pa rin with 𝐸𝐸 and field rice. Specifically on the project, the Next Gen project, which is accelerating the development and the promotion of high-yielding rice varieties. So for Project Saray, actually, we'll start, of course, this year because the signing of MOA is to be scheduled this coming February 2026. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. But as far as satellite maps, are you open to that kind of partnership?
We have actually project with PRISM project. PRISM project is the output is
satellite
rice maps, which is actually product of satellite. Yeah. So we can map the rice areas of the Bangsamoro, specifically in the province of Maguindanao and Lanao del Sur. And it's a very good map, no? Not only for rice map, actually we can map the start of the season map. We can monitor that the farmers is now in the land preparation stage. So we can do that. We can monitor that through the PRISM project, and that is satellite-based mapping.
Thank you. The next question that we have here is for Ms. Olive Puentespina. Ma'am, how is your company and programs dealing with climate change in general?
Climate change is here. We cannot do anything about it. Are we going to be proactive or are we going to be reactive? So, in our company, we choose to be proactive because we're into waste management. What are the impact of improper waste in climate change? Number one is the production of greenhouse gas. If food waste or biodegradable waste go to the landfill, that is contributing 18 to 24% of nitrous oxide, methane, CO2. So that is proactive for us by encouraging people, local government, industries, to instead of putting your waste into landfill, why don't we compost it properly and turn it into something that will help the soil regenerate and produce more crops that will do photosynthetic activity, hold on to your carbon, put it back down in the soil, and help in the manifestation of climate change. So that's number one. Number two, for the use, because I heard your reports, or I was listening, that in your program, you are already encouraging the use of compost. So if instead of government giving free chemical fertilizers, we encourage farmers to first start their own composting, but if they cannot do it, partner with people like us who do industrial scale composting. We use hyperthermophilic aerobic composting, which mitigates methane and CO2 production. And when we say scale, we do 10 to 40 tons of waste every day. So if you're going to do national projects of blended fertilization or organic farming systems, you need to have to partner with people with scale as well. Because we cannot be doing compost and then, oops, sorry, no more supply, we have to compost again. But with technology intervention, you can produce more. And with this kind of technology, it is scalable, it is deployable. Wherever there is waste, there will be waste management. There will be composting. So it is firing and fueling the system. So that's what we choose to do. Put the compost back to the soil, encourage more photosynthetic activity, carbon sequestration, put it down in the soil, and help in mitigating climate change.
Okay, that's a very novel approach. And I think more or less that will complement with what most urban communities, cities face on, they have a very serious case of waste management. And we need not go far. I mean, most of the cities here in Mindanao, I think all of them are needing that kind of expertise. So moving on, the next question that I have is for Reggie. Okay, for Manila Water Foundation, can you please describe your water advocacy in Mindanao? And specifically, what you think really Manila Water can contribute to the BARMM area? I earlier mentioned about the need of having a bulk water facility for a growing community like Cotabato. Maybe for some, you may not think that this is necessary, but even in the most, water-endowed areas like Davao City, for instance, just this morning, there was an assessment that was done. In 5 years' time, Davao itself will face a very serious water shortage. I mean, the business of planning ahead and putting in investments now, it's not going to be tomorrow, it's got to be now. Because time is of the essence. So for communities like, growing communities like Cotabato City, even as far as Tawi-Tawi, efforts must already be geared towards the establishment of bulk water facilities to ensure that there is a potable and drinking water for the communities. Because I anticipate these communities will continue to grow. Their population would continue to expand. No? So with this, sir, may we hear from you?
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. We're talking about climate change and community development. And I believe one clear manifestation of climate change is on water, especially Philippines being an archipelago. In the Philippines, we experience so much water. There's flooding. But also in the Philippines, we also experience lack of water, and that is drought. This is why, if there is one development that we really need to focus on in our communities, is the proper water resource management. Water is a game changer. There will be no development in any community if there is no water. But what's more important is the proper water resource management. Why? What's the reality that we have right now? Mainly because people need water, whether it's for daily living, for agriculture, let's say for their commercial businesses. What do they do is what? Groundwater, deep well. Butas dito, butas sa tabi ng bahay, kung saan-saan. But what we don't realize is how much is the recharge of the aquifers that we're basically abstracting through our deep wells and through our groundwater. If we don't really manage properly the water resource, then we will really experience a certain scenario, just like what has been mentioned, that water crisis will be experienced by most of the communities. This is why Manila Water Company and Manila Water Foundation have been trying to work with water districts, with the local government units in ensuring that we'll be able to properly manage our water resources. However, water resource management is really expensive. While it is expensive, this is a long-term investment to make sure that there is still sufficient supply of reliable, potable, clean, safe water for everyone in the community. This is why, just like what we have done in Barangay Buhilibong in Tipo-Tipo, Basilan, this is a fisher folk community, a coastal community. And they have been experiencing for so many years now, this is a community of more than 2,500 individuals. What they do is they usually wake up at around 3 a.m. They have to use their bangka just to be able to fetch water from about 1 kilometer spring water. What we did is to conduct really a technical and social assessment relative to the use and utilization of their water resources. And mainly because of that study, we were able to provide them a water treatment facility in the area, come up a water line, a 1 kilometer water line from the source. Now, the water treatment plant is nearby the community. It is now serving the school, and it's now serving all the individuals in the community. With a proper planning, with a proper investment, and with the proper partnerships with the community, with the local government unit, we can be able to properly manage our water resources. And that is ensuring that we can also mitigate the effects, the hazards of climate change, and as well progressing the development of the communities.
Okay, thank you. May we hear from Ms. Maria Rosario Felsco of Oxfam, ma'am? What we'd like to know is, can you provide us an overview of your EU BAEP project, 𝐕-SAFE, that you're currently implementing?
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. It's been really, I found it very informative to hear about how the different components of the BAEP project are complementing each other. It's been, I've been very happy to hear that. And it's particularly good, I think, that we circle back at the end of the day to the issue, to the significance of inclusion. Because the reality is there will always be groups of people, communities that are not as able, not as capable to take advantage of economic opportunities, to maximize or even access potential services. And therefore, the significance of inclusive approaches becomes even more. And that is what we try to bring into the BAEP project initiative via our 𝐕-SAFE project, which is strengthening agri-fishery enterprises through women's economic empowerment. We have heard a lot about the challenges to small farmers, small producers in value chains, the challenges they face in terms of a lack of formal registration, for instance, the challenges to productivity and ensuring incomes. We have not heard as much about the specific challenges that women in value chains face. And that is what we are trying to surface. We know that women's participation in value chains are even less recognized, sometimes not very visible, and therefore, because of that, they do not have equal access to services, to decision-making, to influence on policy, to support for their role in value chains. And that is what we try to address by helping women form associations, and through which they can then formalize their collective efforts. They can be able to represent themselves and their agendas with government ministries and local government units, and therefore have better access to services and support. We are working with 2 other NGO partners, KCC, PMFI, and SIM Card, working in 6 municipalities, 1 in Basilan, 3 in Sulu, and 2 in Tawi-Tawi, and with women in 6 different value chains. I'm very happy that over the last couple of years, we have helped form 91 women-led associations across these localities. 46 or almost 50% of whom are now formally registered with MOLE and therefore have been able to access support from different, not just MOLE, but other ministries, MAFAR, also with MTIT, being able to participate already in, for instance, exhibits and trade fairs. Not only that, of these 91 women-led associations, 63 have been provided with equipment and startup capital so that they can improve their participation in the value chains. And I can cite later some very inspiring stories about women's associations who have really improved their, increased their productivity, accessed very meaningful contributions from local government units for facilities in production, as well as receiving training and so on. So I think it's a very clear step forward that once we support women's groups, they're really able to participate meaningfully, and that local government units and ministries are also very supportive and willing to help, to work closely with these women's associations. I think I'll stop there. I can share more later.
Okay, all right. I think each one of us among the implementing partners of the BAEP program has have their own collective experiences that we can really share. But really, the thing that, you know, as you continue to look at, especially for the topic today at hand, if this is not something else that's handled properly, can really be, I would say, a serious problem. At the same time, given the amount of resources that we have, can we really finance the inaction, the resulting inaction? Because for every cost, there's always an effect. So what I'm saying is that the time to act as far as climate change adaptation or mitigation is now. Starting with our own experiences with other projects that, you know, you come to think about, of course, when we talk about flood control, the first thing that comes to mind is the events that took place in Manila a few months ago. But I didn't have that in mind, but what I had was the planting of mangroves, no? Especially in your coastal communities. Because that answers a lot of things, from establishing your marine sanctuaries to even having your own type of other rural type of coastal businesses like salt farming, or even one of those overlooked areas is the aspect also of NIPA. Do you know that you can make sugar out of NIPA? And the reason why it has not taken off in the case of the Caraga region is because NIPA is being used for alcohol. And alcohol here in the BARMM area is haram. So it's clearly an advantage, because that is also another form of sugar that has a low glycemic index. One of the lowest. In fact, when I look at your NIPA stands here, that's a lot. It should be included in your resource mapping. Because that itself, the Department of Agriculture and Bureau of Agricultural Research has included that as one of the upcoming crops. Given, of course, you have the population for NIPA to support that. But that's just one. There are so many other things. The other aspect that I'd like to bring out is the manner of the circular economy, how it can impact small farmers. As in the case of the Caraga region, they're able to develop biochar out of rice waste. And right now, it is getting to be much in demand because that has, based on the test of the Bureau of Soils and Water Management, it shows a very high acceptability. You know, it is much more suited as a possible replacement for your, I would say, inorganic fertilizer. So this will have an impact in lowering your farm inputs, especially that fertilizers account for a major part of it. So I'd like to ask each one of you, given the sessions we've had for this day, what your impressions are. And may we start with you, Ma'am Olive? I mean, you were here. I'd like to get your impressions on what the BARMM can do. Where do you really see BARMM going to amidst the challenges that it's facing as far as climate change is concerned? Is it something else that, and drawing from your experience as a social entrepreneur, is it something else that could be replicated here? Is it something else that your experience can help other farming communities, especially among the women?
Climate change is there to stay. I mean, at least in my lifetime, I think. I don't want to go back to the Pleistocene and experience that and then going back to the Ice Age. But for Philippine scenario, I think we have to adapt to practices that will really increase yield on a very specific small farming. Kasi in the Philippines, I think the ownership is about 1.5 hectares per farmer. And our age is about 56 to 60 years old. And the bigger problem is the farmer himself will tell his children not to become farmer anymore. So where will that end in the next, on the generations to come? We will be dependent on importation. As if we are a rich country. Our dollar reserve, I think, comes from our OFW. We don't have a lot of industries that will give us dollars. And so it's a really bleak scenario for agriculture. What I'm saying is, with what little that we have to increase our productivity. So we have to focus on our biggest resource, and that is the soil. Increase productivity of the soil so that on the times that we can farm, because there will be flooding, there will be drought, but on the times that we can increase productivity. Davao, Mindanao as a whole, as an island, is the food basket of the Philippines. There are a lot more climate disaster that happens in Luzon and Visayas rather than Mindanao. So at the end, we still have to send our products there. And we have to incur cost in logistics just to bring our food to them. So we have to produce our food cheaper to offset that logistics to send it all over the Philippines. So we really have to prioritize increasing productivity and lowering costs in Mindanao so we can help our countrymen. No matter what they think about Mindanao right now, we still have to share our bounties. So what I'm saying is concentrate on what should be giving us the most yield, and that is regenerative agriculture. Put more natural inputs in your soil. Please, let's not throw away our waste. Let's turn it into something that will regenerate the soil. Don't be part of the problem, become part of the solution.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Maria, may we hear from you?
Again, I will take it from the angle of inclusion because that, I think, our focus for now. And if I take it from that perspective, I would say that the people who are most affected that is the people who live in very precarious conditions, who have the least alternatives, they should be the most equipped with knowledge and with support to be able to plan ahead. And that means, in concrete terms, localizing as much as possible our climate information. You mentioned, I think earlier, the lack or the need for more localized climate tools. Weather stations even have to be as localized as possible. All the local planning tools that are available need to be utilized. Local climate adaptation plans, because those would provide the context for us to also analyze our value chains, their vulnerability to climate risks, and what can be done to adapt, or perhaps, and that could include diversify, right? And again, I would also say, we heard earlier this morning, although I would tend to think that it might still be underreported, in terms of proportion, both in farming and fishing, that women comprise about 30% or a third. That is a significant proportion of the population. We should know the specific conditions of this particular proportion of the population. How are women particularly affected by climate change? How are women particularly affected within the value chains that they work in? If we do not have specific information like that, if we do not surface or generate the data about such a significant proportion of the population, then our analysis and our planning would be incomplete, skewed or biased towards what is more visible.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir?
Okay, so as a rice specialist, no, alam natin si BARMM ay isang rice producing region in the Philippines. No? So, ang hindi ko nakikita is yung focus natin in terms of investment on irrigation. Just to inform you that BARMM is the top 3 regions na talagang napakalawak yung rainfed areas natin, which is supposedly masuportahan natin yung food security in terms of rice self-sufficiency. So what I mean here is that water is very important. Si Bangsamoro, lalo na si province of Maguindanao, ay very rich in terms of resources like water, pero hindi natin nagagamit. Yung investment natin siguro i-focus natin dun sa technology, no? On increasing productivity. Yun yung concern natin dito. Kasi for more than 30 years na din ako sa Department of Agriculture, yun yung nagiging issues and concerns. Although ang dami ng technology, for example, alternate waiting and drying technology, we introduced that through our project. Pero yung problema pa rin natin yung adoption ng mga farmers dun sa technology. Yun yung pinaka-problema dito. Maybe because yung mga farmers natin dito sa Bangsamoro ay hindi siya ganun ka financially stable. But maybe the government, like si Bangsamoro region, hindi ako naniwala na si Bangsamoro ay walang pera to invest on irrigation. Sana nandito yung National Irrigation Administration. Because talagang si Maguindanao ay napakalawak ng areas na hindi pa talaga natatouch, no? So supposedly we can support other provinces like Tawi-Tawi, Basilan, Sulu in terms of rice production, no? So hindi na sila mag-export from other country like Malaysia, Brunei, which is supposedly dapat ganun. No? So, nandito sa atin yung water resources pero hindi natin nagagamit, no? ng maganda na supposedly dapat maging self-sufficient tayo dito sa Bangsamoro region. And just to inform yung mga guests and participants natin na only Maguindanao is rice self-sufficient. Okay? And other provinces ay like Llano del Sur, other provinces ay hindi dahil nga dun sa maybe problema natin dun sa irrigation facilities. And of course, ang recommendation ko dito ay dapat yung investment natin ay makapokus tayo dun sa irrigation. Thank you very much po.
Before I share my final take on what I have learned throughout the day, let me just echo what Ms. Maria has mentioned about inclusion. In all of our projects, we always create a WASH group and we capacitate them to make sure that once we're done with the construction of the facility, they will be the ones to operate and maintain the systems. But whenever we conduct the technical and social assessment, the first person that we are asking about their issues and concerns about water, it's women. Alam ng babae kung anong problema sa tubig. Sila naglalaba, sila nagluluto, sila ang gumagamit karamihan ng tubig. That's why women have really an integral role in sustaining and solving the issues of water. So that's why I always commend the role of women in terms of what we do in water resource management. Again, throughout the day, my take on this is 3S. One is sustainability. We have to make sure that how we utilize the resources that we have today will be made available for the future generations. But how do we do that? That's the second S. Systems. We have to systematize everything. In water resource management, there are different ways how to systematize it. You can make use of it and do your own water treatment facility. But there's also a bulk water supply facility, just like the Tagum water, which Saya has mentioned a while ago this morning, that Manila Water Company or any other institution can be the one to manage the water and can be able to provide bulk water to any of the institutions or local government units. So the burden of managing the water supply does not basically be given to any other local organizations. So in a way, we have to systematize everything. But the third one, and I think this is most important, is synergy. We have to complement each other's strengths. We have to complement each other's expertise. Local government units, BARMM, Bangsamoro may have the money, but sometimes may not have the technical expertise. Manila Water Foundation may have the technical expertise in terms of the water resource management. The same way that some local government unit may not have the financial resources. That's why the other NGOs and other organizations may have to provide help in terms of funding. So we really have to work together to make sure that we will be able to provide still the resources that we enjoy today for the future generations that we have in this country, and for them to be able to enjoy what we're enjoying in Bangsamoro. Thank you.
Okay, I guess everyone else has given their views regarding the present situation of the BARMM in terms of meeting the challenges of climate change. So, seems to be a signal. All right, they're killing us. So, once again, thank you very much on behalf of our panel here and to the organizers. Thank you very much for bearing with us and listening to our discussions this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. We have now concluded our fourth session. This time we would like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to our panelists. Sir Jerry Constantino, please do the honor. And after that, we will have a photo opportunity. All right, once again, a round of applause, please. Thank you so much. And this time, as we conclude the first day of our BARMM Investment and Trade Advocacy Forum, we reflect on the insightful discussions, strategies, and innovations shared by our speakers today. To formally close day one and leave us with her perspectives on advancing sustainable and inclusive agribusiness in BARMM, please join me in welcoming Ms. Aisa Abdullah Sangakala, PhD, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform of BARMM. Let's give her the biggest hand, please.
Kung may opening, may closing. Alhamdulillah, salawatullah wa salamuhu ala wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Distinguished guests, partners from different sectors, local and international, mga familia from different provinces of BARMM. Nandito kanina ang PD ng Basilan. Sana yon. Small cooperatives in attendance. To all of you, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. As we come to close this day one of this EU BAEP CRESCENT Advocacy Forum, allow me to sincerely thank everyone for your active participation, thoughtful insights, and meaningful contributions throughout today's discussions. Special mention to my familia presenters. Although wala ako kaninang umaga, physically, pero nakasubaybay naman po ako through online. D1 has been a day of reflection and alignment. We discussed peace and development, competitiveness, infrastructure, micro, small, and medium enterprises, growth, access to market and finance, and the enabling environment for agri-fisheries business in the Bangsamoro. These discussions are not abstract. Ito ay mga usaping direktang may malaking epekto sa ating mga kabuhayan ng ating mga magsasaka, mangingisda, mga kooperatiba at mga entrepreneurs. One clear message emerged from today's sessions: agri-fisheries business development in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao requires strong coordination, clear direction, and sustained partnership. No single institutions or sector can do this alone. May kasabihan tayo, no man is an island. We need one another to prosper. It must be an effort of each and every one, sabi ng speaker natin kaninang umaga. We were reminded today that peace is strengthened when economic opportunities are real and inclusive. Kapag ang mga komunidad ay may hanap buhay, kapag ang mga produkto ay may merkado, At kapag ang mga MSMEs natin o mga small cooperative natin ay may pagkakataong lumago, mas nagiging matatag ang ating rehiyon. Sa kasalukuyan, malinaw sa ating direksyong tinatahak. Isang uri ng paglago na tunay na eksklusibo, pangmatagalan at may malinaw na pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan at kalagayang umiiral sa ating mga pamayanang lokal. This day allowed us to listen, to learn, and to better understand where we are as a region. Mahalaga ang ganitong uri ng mga dialogo dahil dito nabubuo ang tiwala at pagkakaunawaan na siyang pundasyon ng mas epektibong aksyon. As we look ahead to the second day, which is tomorrow po yun, we shift from reflection to engagement. Tomorrow, we will hear directly from companies and partners who will present their proposed initiatives, investment, interest, and areas for possible collaboration in the Bangsamoro. This presentation will help us explore how private sector's ideas and capabilities can align with our development priorities. Let us carry forward the spirit of openness, cooperation, and shared responsibilities that defines today's discussions. Kahit maraming mga challenges tayong nakakaharap, as long as nagtutulungan, walang imposible. Nagbanggit ng ating Propeta Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sa kanyang mga hadith, ahabun nas ilallah anfa'uhum linnas. Ang pinakagusto ng ating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala o mga mu'min na gusto niya ay ang mga taong nakakatulong na napapakinabang ng kanyang kapwa-tao. Magtulungan po tayo at tumulong na rin kung may pagkakataon para sa ikakaunlad ng ating rehiyon, ang Bangsamoro region. Insha'Allah, lahat ng good deeds natin o mga niat natin ay may reward sa Kanya. Naway, magsilbing gabay ang mga aral ngayong araw upang mas maging makabuluhan ang mga palitan at mga dialogo bukas. We once again extend our appreciation to the European Union, the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, the BAEP CRESCENT project team, and all our partners for your continued support and engagement with the MAFAR and the entire Bangsamoro. Maraming salamat. Pagpalain Bangsamoro. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aisa Abdullah Sangakala, for your inspiring closing remarks and for highlighting the path forward for sustainable and inclusive agribusiness in BARMM. This time, we would like to present the certificate of our appreciation to Ms. Aisa Abdullah Sangakala. Sir Jerry Constantino, please do the honor of presenting the certificate to our Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform of BARMM. Let us take a photo opportunity of this as well. This time, ladies and gentlemen, we also extend our heartfelt thanks to all of our speakers, panelists, and to all of our participants, our audience, for your active participation today. That concludes day one of this two-day forum. We look forward to welcoming you back tomorrow for another day of learning, discussion, and collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, our booths will still be here by tomorrow, so make sure to grab some of the products and check all of them. For our government employees who need the certificate of appearances, please visit the registration booth. Gentle reminders also to everyone who have the magnetic name tags, kindly return the tags at the registration area as well. Now, before we all disperse, we will have a crowd shot. Everybody, let us all gather near the stage. Our photographer will be on the stage to take the shot. Again, calling all our participants, speakers, panelists, everyone from the booth, let us all gather at the center near the stage for the crowd shot. Once again, thank you all so much.